Thank y'all for joining us. Welcome to the podcast. Follow us at Blerdimension here and on YouTube. YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Actually, if you haven't already, turn on notifications so you can be the first to know we got new content for you. All our pronouns are he, him, and his. So we got 3 segments for y'all. We're gonna talk about some nerdy news and headlines. After news, we got topic of the week. This week we're talking about Valve Steam Deck, which is shipping next month, like toward the end of next month. And last but not least, we're gonna talk about what we've been consuming this week and what's good. And that means games we've been playing, movies, shows we've been watching, comics we've been reading, all that kind of good stuff. After the podcast, we have a little break, and then we're gonna get into after podcast gaming. We had the orange versus blue draft, so we got our teams, but we short a person, so we might not be doing teams tonight. But we're gonna play some Halo. Maybe we'll play some Rocket League. He did. He's a terrible person. Wherever he is, he should feel bad. All right, so The Rock is about to make a game movie, a movie inspired by about a game. And so I don't know. It is quote one of the biggest, most badass games. I don't know what like this. Maurice said Rampage too.
Him juice.
I can
Nice.
hear you. Okay.
I don't know. The Rock can make whatever he wants at this point. I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Wait, did they hit the intro?
Oh shit, they didn't hear y'all. It's all right. We'll, you know.
You say you got the recording?
Yeah, I got the recording. We can always splice that.
Fix it in post, guys.
Yeah, fix it
in
in post. It's all good.
Fix it in post.
But you were saying, Creston, that you think it's gonna be something dumb and it's underwhelming.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the biggest, baddest game. It's gonna be something like very like mid tier. It's gonna be something like like I said, we're all expecting Gears or I think even some people speculated like God of War. Like that's what we expect, but it's gonna be something like Darksiders. Even though Darksiders is cool, but it's not as popular or as you know what I'm saying.
Didn't it? He said it
exciting.
from his childhood though. Wasn't that what it was said or something like that?
Did he?
Is he into games?
Yeah,
Is he like a gamer?
I guess as much as he can to be in the games as being the
he's
Rock.
not a hardcore gamer.
Yeah,
I would say he's more into like the Doom 2. That'd be fucking hysterical.
I would.
I mean, he was in the movie, right? So
Yeah, that movie was the last part was tight. I like that shit. It was dumb, but I liked it.
It was hard for me to like. I give a lot of passes to action movies or anything with supernatural anything. It was very hard for me to
That's fair.
to stomach that movie.
Damn.
That one was a hard one.
Movie was terrible.
That's the only part that convinced me to watch it. Was that part?
What the first person giant?
Yeah, that's the only part.
Yeah, that was all fan service right there. That shit was tight. I'm not even gonna lie. That made it worth sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't think I finished it, so I probably didn't even make it to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you hear "dum," I was like, yeah.
That shit was tight. But yeah, I don't think he's sizing it, so I don't think that it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be that great. So.
So is he partnering with a studio? He's starting his own studio. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm just assuming that he's going to be an actor or probably like an EP on it. That's what he's kind of sounding
like a producer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I would like I said, I would like to see him in Gears. That would be tight.
He was very light on details. It's mostly speculation.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say though, he seems to have his ear to the ground in business. Because to me, if he decides to do this now, right? I don't know how long this has been in the works, but like he's clearly paying attention to the money moves being made in gaming. He knows he already has. He's pretty much the biggest star in the world now, movies, as far as making money and how big those movies grow. So it's like, what's the next money play? games. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I could probably parlay what I've been doing into that.
Well,
So at least, from a business standpoint,
that gives a good
give him
interesting
credit.
point. Could be a boring. He said, "Hungry Hippos." The movie. I'm done. Shut up. Shut up, Maurice. I mean, it could be a board game. They did.
Jumanji.
They did do.
Jumanji.
They did Jumanji. They did Battleship, which wasn't the best movie, but
Look, but
The
you know
effects
what?
on that shit
It
was
was
tight
better
though.
than Doom. I tell you that.
It was.
it was
Yeah.
better than
Damn.
Doom.
Rihanna was actually not bad in that movie. I thought she was gonna be
Actually,
cringe.
she was.
I thought she
Yeah,
was gonna be cringe, but it
Yeah.
was actually not bad.
yeah. She wasn't
Oh,
bad.
shit.
She wasn't bad.
Unfortunately, her role was
Yeah.
short-lived.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. But same time though, it's still good seeing her.
It was good. She overachieved from my expectations. It was very low for her.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. She's better than Beyonce.
Damn.
Look, I think Beyonce is finding her stride there, and I'm sure her next outing will be, like for example, Dreamgirls, right? Her first movie with what was that, Cuba Gooding Jr. You know,
What was
not
that?
amazing. It was
Wasn't
not
she
amazing. I forgot it's
wasn't
called.
she in what was it, Goldfinger?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Was it
Austin
was
Powers.
Okay,
She wasn't.
that's
She
probably her
wasn't.
that was her
first,
first
right?
movie, right?
That's
Yeah,
probably her
wasn't she in
first, and
was that first?
It
Go
was
ahead.
her
I'm
first.
about to look up her
I don't think I
IMDb so
ever
quick.
watched that. Like,
Cause she had
I
obsessed.
watched a music video,
Yes.
but I didn't watch that movie. I did not watch that movie.
She was.
But
Yeah.
so how was she in that movie? I would imagine um,
Yeah.
she wasn't nominated, so I don't think she was necessarily killing it.
You talking about
But
Dreamgirls?
no, that's what I was about to say. In Dreamgirls, she elevated her game, right? Like I'm not gonna say she should have won an Oscar or anything like that, but compared to what she did in that Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh,
movie, which I don't
Fighting
remember the name of it.
Temptations. Fighting
Fighting
Temptations.
Temptation.
Yeah,
There
he
you
right.
go.
He right. He
The
right.
the the acting, I think it's fair to say, was a little subpar on her part, right? Like it wasn't a big budget movie, it's sort of like a
The music was good.
stereotypical black movie back then, you know. Um,
Music was good.
so what's that?
The music was good.
I mean, it's Beyonce.
I
So,
mean, she didn't sing most of the song, but when she did sing, she did a good job. But when she was trying to act, it
but
was
this is what I'm saying, like a stereotypical black movie that has any sort of church aspect to it, the singing has to be on point or like you're catching major L's on that movie. Like that's a bare minimum. You got to have that.
oh,
What
Um,
movie y'all said this
but
was?
yeah, her acting was not, it wasn't a standout performance. But on Dreamgirls, I thought she did a great job with Dreamgirls. She wasn't like the best on there compared to everybody else, but like I don't think it was trash. I think
I think
that's
she
still
was
her
very
best performance
much
ever.
carried by the rest of the cast, and by the fact that
I
it was a
mean,
singing
but
role
of
and she could
course,
sing.
like look at that cast though. Come on now, look at that cast. You have Jamie
Word.
Foxx, Eddie Murphy. You got what's that dude?
I'm just
Uh,
all I'm saying is they raised the
Hudson.
baseline, so that you
she
can't
didn't
really
have to be.
see.
She had to
But
be
here,
Like
prominent. She had to be
if
prominent.
look,
if Beyonce had to
no,
carry it, it would have been garbage. It would have been trash. I
okay,
love Beyonce. She's a
look,
fantastic
here's
artist. Like her music is great, and she's like
Kev,
really
watch yourself.
smart,
We don't want
creative.
that. We don't want that beef.
But she can't act her way out of a paper bag.
We
And
don't want that beef,
wow,
Kev.
she
That listen,
can't.
y'all.
wow.
Listen, that's Kev's
Look,
opinion, not Blerdimension's
hey,
opinion.
hey,
Y'all hear me?
hey, he
Y'all hear me,
he
Beyonce
he
fans out
doesn't
there? We
speak
love
for Blurred
Beyonce.
Dimension. He
We
doesn't
respect
speak
No,
for
I
Beyonce.
love
Blurred
Beyonce.
Dimension.
Beyonce is fantastic. Not
All hail the
Beyonce the
queen.
singer, Beyonce the producer, Beyonce
Beyonce,
the
the
like
actress.
Beyonce the actress is not the
She
movie.
deserves an Emmy.
Look,
No.
Let me say this right
I
now. Let me say this real quick. She wants to be in a Marvel movie and she wants to be Storm. I said
She
hell
deserves.
to the fuck no.
She deserves it.
She does
She
not.
deserves
Because
not
Storm should be
to
a
be.
dark skinned
There's
black
a-
woman.
Okay. Who do you have in mind for Storm?
Who do I don't have
Anybody
anybody
else?
in mind.
Anybody else? That's a little strong. All
Mm,
right, that's a little
I feel like
strong.
there are plenty of. You've already said this thing. I see y'all out here tearing down black women. Hate to see it.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's how
Nobody's
you.
down.
That's
We
how
just
you,
speaking
Kev.
some facts in this.
Look, look. Let's localize it a little bit. Not Blerdimension. That's Kev and JK.
I'm not tearing down anybody, but the truth is the truth. And I feel like, sometimes you got to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Still,
Look,
like, my
here's
wife loves Dreamgirls. I've seen it at least one time. I haven't watched any of those other movies. Except Carmen, the hip opera joint. I've seen that.
I haven't seen that. I don't even know what that
It was
is.
a hip hop
That
play.
was from 2001. And yeah,
There,
it was
there you
like
go.
a hip hop musical, basically. But
I
like
didn't
Yeah,
own
I
my
remember
own
that.
opera
destiny
because
back then.
everything is singing. Like there's no talking at any point. All the
Yeah.
songs carry the story, so that's why it's like opera.
It's
So
Um,
is Hamilton, but
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Oh
exactly.
well, I'm out. I'm out.
You out?
Wow.
Oh my! Hamilton is
Wow.
fantastic. Anyway, all right. So back to the Rock's
Wait, who's throwing shade?
potential.
A little bit of a tangent.
Little
Who
bit.
wants that? Who wants hands?
Nobody. No.
What'd you
From the
say?
Rock, nah.
No.
I'm
Nah,
not
It
from the
depends
Rock.
on the movie. It depends on the movie. If it's like Gears, like Crescent said, cool. God of War, I don't
Yeah.
think you
He
should
too.
touch it.
He too buff.
I don't
for
think you should touch it for
be
that.
You think for
Kratos.
Kratos?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kratos
Kratos
is
is
not
not that
like.
big.
Yeah, he's not that
Kratos
big.
is like 5'4".
We talking about the
Kratos
same
like
He's like
guy?
Wolverine. He's like
What?
Wolverine in a sense.
He's not that short, but I would
He
say
could.
he's.
He could slim down. Rock can slim down. He has
He ain't
body
Nah,
trying to slim
control a little
down.
bit.
he ain't trying to look sick.
No,
Yeah, because
look.
he wants to
He could
be
take.
like he
He could
wants to
take
be
an
what's
inch
his
off the
face's.
biceps. He
Oh,
could take
it's
an
like
inch.
5'7",
Said
5'8".
Yeah,
The Rock like 6'2".
I mean,
Is he 6'2"? I
they
thought he
can
was
fix it in
taller than that.
post.
what is it like?
See the
What,
post?
6'4"?
Like they did Fast and Furious.
Nah, they should have threw that in the trash. He's 6'5".
Yeah,
No, they had to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kratos is 7 foot. Yeah.
I was like 6'2".
Kratos
I'm
ain't no
like, I
7
don't
foot.
know.
Ain't
Oh,
no
not
way.
Kratos. I'm talking about The Rock. The Rock is 6'5".
Oh, okay.
No, but
That's
real quick on
taller than
that
I
Fast
thought.
and the Furious, like they had to honor his thing, and I get that, right? And so I understand why, but I really do want to know like whose like full decision was it? Like Vin Diesel's decision? Was it like exec's decision?
To do
That
what?
is like
To try to
to
put
have
him on the same
to
foot
Paul,
as
to Paul Walker in the end credit scene of
that.
Fast and Furious. Well, it wasn't just end credits. Wasn't it? Well, like, at least like 3 good scenes. They had to do the CGI for him. I can't remember that movie right.
As long as the last part.
yeah.
All
I
right.
just hope that this, like I said, I hope he's not sicing it. He sounds like he's sicing it. It's going to be a letdown. The movie quality itself, I mean, I like The Rock. I like him in, action movies, and so I don't mind that part. But I just think that whatever the property he's working on is probably going to be underwhelming. It's going to be something very like mid tier.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So, but
See,
we'll see.
yeah.
I'm staying optimistic. I like The Rock.
Hey, nothing wrong with being optimistic, man.
They said in Kid and Play.
I don't know. Does anybody else have anything about this? Is there any game you would really want to see him in? Like it would get you excited. Like if they said we're doing this, like The Rock is making this movie, you would be like, fuck yes, I'm in there.
Gears. That's all.
Gears, that's the only one.
Yeah.
I'm not
Years.
I'm not really looking for The Rock in anything.
Nothing at
But
all.
you got to hear it. Like I will watch his movies and I'll be entertained by his movies. but I'm not like, oh, The Rock is in that. Yeah, I gotta go see that one. That's not me right
Never said
now.
those
Okay,
words.
yeah, but I've enjoyed plenty of movies, even his lower end ones, right? So
Yeah.
he's done a few movies that are kind of like Chinese production. Nothing wrong with that. You got to go chase the bag a little bit, but
Hey.
the production quality you could see it was a little down.
Wasn't that the
Where's
one
the
on Netflix?
The one I think I don't
That
I don't know if it was
red
Netflix, but he was like
something?
in the building, like
Red Notice?
he was like an architect, and like
Red Notice.
I didn't see that one, but that
Oh,
one probably was that might have been a Chinese situation too, but I didn't see it.
No,
I
Red
can't say,
Notice was
but
very high
it's
budget.
here. It's American.
no, I'm pretty sure that was high. I wouldn't. So let's not misconstrue. China makes some high budget crap that looks amazing and is amazing, but he's gotten most of his China connection stuff has not been that. So it's not that China can't do that or hasn't done that. They absolutely
Guys,
have, and I've seen some. But the stuff that The Rock gets involved with China, to me, seems like a money grab. He has name recognition. Um, he's known out there. He wants to be even more known out there because that's where the bag is China these days. So like the investment production wise hasn't always been there in the stuff that he's doing with China. So it's not to denigrate China what they're doing, but just his associations. But I forgot the name of the movie or if it was on
skyscraper.
Netflix. But
Maurice said
yeah,
it's called
yeah,
Skyrise. The
High
elevator
Rise.
on fire, Skyrise.
Yes, yes. I enjoyed that movie. Most people would probably say that's not an amazing movie, right? But I enjoyed that because of the action component. I like, he had a bit of a handicap in there. He kind of overcame a little bit. I enjoyed that, but that's the type of movie that I'm going to watch anyway. Like if you put a known namer in there, I probably wouldn't watch it that much just because there's zero name recognition. But any person that has any kind of acting credibility, I would have still watched it and I would have enjoyed it just as much. That's what I'm saying. So he's not like a draw for me. Like
I got you.
him coming in gaming, what I would like is he bring like just get a high quality game regardless of what it is. He doesn't have to be in it. But if he can elevate the the whole release because of his name, like additional marketing, maybe there's an esports angle to either further promote it or whatever.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
can
And,
see
dope.
and
that.
that's where he plays. Like, I don't think he needs to be in it or he needs to be the creative mind behind the story. Now, if he comes up and shocks us and that's a talent that he has that we didn't know about, okay. But like, I think his strength is marketing and
Yeah.
elevating something that is good but probably wouldn't have been known and he could bring it out. I think that would be good if he did that.
Okay.
I guess.
Um. So you, y'all's man Elon wants to put a microchip in your brain so you can save and replay your memories, upload them shits to Google Drive. I guess I don't know. Trying to turn it
Is
into
this
a drug.
Neuralink?
Neuralink, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
All right,
He,
well,
he's been he's been
Y'all
he's
niggas
been
say
messing with Neuralink for a while.
I
tell
Um,
me
mean,
where I go. That's all I
I
got.
wish he
Where I
would
go.
stop.
What's the appointment? Where's the appointment?
why? Why should he stop? Look, let's be clear.
So hold on. Do you want this? You want this?
Yeah,
Right the fuck
I was
here.
about to clarify. So this guy over here, right, is not doing any elective surgery on the brain. That's not going to happen for this guy over here. Now, that's not the short-term goal of Neuralink either, right? The short-term goal is um, paralytics, people that have other brain disorders, Alzheimer's, stuff like that, to try to solve that problem using this technique. Um,
Gotcha.
he showed that not only can he put it in and get some results with pigs, and I don't know if he's done it on apes or monkeys yet, but certainly pigs, I've seen that. He's shown that he can remove that without long-term damage. Now we're talking about pigs here. I don't think he's demonstrated that with humans yet. But the fact that the pig is still freaking alive after you remove the brain implant is still amazing, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, now if he perfects this, right, and it's amazing, I'm still not doing it because that's not who I am. But I do know there's a lot of people that would sign up for that because you pretty much get superhuman intelligence. But that wouldn't be me.
So
I'd
my
have to
question,
be crippled or something like that, and then maybe I'll consider it.
so my question with that, you
So
mentioned the whole superhuman intelligence thing, right? So
Yeah.
say there's this book I love that I finished this past year, um, called The Machine Hood, and it takes place I think like 40 years into our future, so 2040 something, whatever the fuck it is, no 2060 something,
2060 something, right?
yeah. And so in that future, right, basically machines, fully taking over everything as far as automation, as far as manual labor goes.
Mm-hmm.
And humans, in order to keep up, had to either basically get implants like this, or start taking brain enhancing drugs called, they call it flow. This is all works of fiction, of course, but you mentioned that, right? Like,
Quote,
people
end
eventually
quote.
started taking these implants, and don't you believe, like, the workforce at that point in time, in order to keep up, you'll be put into a situation where you either take this implant or you can't get employed, especially in our career field. Could you imagine if you
Um,
could think, if you could process code, or just, for me, if I could process IOCs or payloads faster, if I could, you know, if I could process that information faster, that'd be dangerous. It really would be.
no, it's first of all, I think I, I feel like that's an absolute fact that's going to happen. So what I'm saying is by me not doing that, that means one of a few things, right? I
Mm-hmm.
either need to be wealthy enough where it doesn't freaking matter. I don't need to work anymore. And or um, I'm okay with being the backwater of humanity.
Mm.
Uh, I've made that decision already. So I think it's absolutely going to happen that people will be able to pay for super intelligence. And Elon is already saying that it doesn't matter what it's cost, it's going to be worth it, which means he's going to charge an obscene amount of money once he gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this thing costs $1 million, would you do it? The answer absolutely should be yes, because if you have superhuman intelligence early, you're a billionaire within 18 months, if not less, with superhuman intelligence. It would be so easy to make that money in so many different ways. If it costs $1 billion, I don't know a bank that would finance you as the individual for $1 billion, but would it be worth it? The answer is freaking yes. If you could be the first 100 when after this technology um, is perfected, if you did that, what we're talking about, if only a handful of people could do this, those handful of people would be trillionaires, every last one of them, easily. Because you're talking about what's impossible for you now. You solve climate change. If you solve climate change, you're a multi-trillionaire, or whatever company does that, right? You could potentially do that. If you solve the energy crisis, solve the water crisis, if you mine asteroids, there's like 10 or more industries that you could just think of off the top of your head. If you solve it, you're a trillionaire. So whatever it costs, it's absolutely worth it, because you're going to make that money back many, many times over. So I think it will happen. um but I've already made the decision that uh you know I'm okay with being relegated as a dinosaur, or hope or the latter situation. I've made enough money that I'll be okay. I'm probably still
Mm-hmm.
be poor when everybody else is creating so much value for themselves, but I should still be able to feed myself and have shelter. That's the goal.
And
But I
are
think
you
it
gonna
will
be okay
happen.
with your kids making these, taking implants
Uh,
like this?
y-
Because they'll have no
you know,
choice.
when they're 18, that's a decision for them to make. When
Yeah.
they're in my house, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be in poverty because I'm not allowing it. Um, so the ideal situation, my oldest is 7, going on 8. The hope is this is not a reality for at least 10 years, so at least it'll be I won't have to feel bad that I relegated my kids to this and they can make the
Hmm.
decision on their own. But if I'm making a decision, it's not going down in my house. Yeah.
That's fair.
That's great.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting thing. Like, it's just, like you said, there's definitely value in being first to that. For sure.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Are you
Let's
I
kidding? Like,
mean,
but it's gonna make the class system even more divided. Because, like you said, it's either one or two things, right? Either they're gonna keep the prices low because they need to test it on the masses, or they will perfect it completely, and then the price will
no,
be ridiculously high to where it's out of
there's
reach for normal
never a
people.
need to make it cheap. There's never a need because of how the rollout's going to be, right? We already see it.
Hmm.
So he started with pigs, and I think he's done it on some primates or monkeys.
mhm.
And the next step is okay, let's see what we can do with Alzheimer's first, uh, quadriplegics, paraplegics, and then you work your way up, right? So by the time it's like, okay, this is elective. So think about what would be the risks. The risks are the same for a perfectly healthy person and somebody that has some mental disability. The risks are exactly the same. The only thing you're concerned about, are you going to damage the brain, and can you remove it without damaging the brain? So once you've solved it on the folks that have less to lose, and
So you're saying,
you would have had to have made it cheap enough for insurance to cover it for said individuals, right? So, well, how are they doing that? Well, of course, Elon, they designed a robot that does this within
that's the surgery.
nanometers of
Yeah.
accuracy. Like they're targeting capillaries in the brain. They're not just shoving it randomly. Anything that Everything else that up to this point they've had only less than a dozen probes, and these are very intrusive, like spikes into the brain, literally, right? He's placing essentially fiber optic filaments into different capillaries in his brain, and they they have an AI robot that's looking at the brain and targeting it, because of course the brain is moving as your heart is pumping. That's to the degree of accuracy that they already have. So by the time
Fucking
we're
fascinating
talking about
technology.
elective, it's already perfected, both from a cost perspective and from a risk perspective, right?
That's
So if it works for those folks, it becomes a no-brainer if you could then show, okay, yeah, we can now make you superhuman. Not only that, um, those first folks that we tried it out on, we've perfected the technology now. We'll remove that from them and we'll upgrade them. So not only do we rehabilitate them, we make the people that were handicapped superhuman as well, right? And for for those people, he could just give that away for free. Because what is he going to do? He's going to charge
Neuralink as
$10
a
million
service.
per surgery after that, and people will be beating down his door to give him that. There's
That's
over a
true.
thousand billionaires. What's 10 million to become superhuman and unlock trillions of dollars worth of value? It's it's
See,
it's a
uh,
it's a no-brainer.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
Several.
I'm not doing it. So don't get me wrong, I'm not doing it. But if you're just thinking about it from a monetary standpoint, if you don't have any particular
Your brain
religious
cloud.
view or philosophical worldview that precludes you from doing this,
Even if I had
why
10K,
wouldn't you?
even if I had 10K, I said, hey man, I won't. I'm not doing it because one, they're probably gonna raise the price for me. They definitely don't want no some. They definitely don't want me to be superhuman. because some people getting taken out.
Why the hell is Elon?
Um,
Why would Elon care if it's safe and it's works? Like he makes if you got the gigahertz, he's got the 10 gigahertz. He's not letting nobody have one that's better than his. He's
Nope.
going to. I know Elon
He
will
doesn't
have
already
one
have
once
one
it's
already.
perfected.
that's fine, but look, there's
He don't. He,
this brings back a memory of a horror story of somebody had a brain implant
Mhm.
and they got hacked. A hacker hacked them, took over
Absolutely.
all their memories,
Yo,
took over their entire life,
Absolutely.
and made them in just basically a vegetable,
bruh.
and took over their entire
That
life.
is the threat. That is the threat.
Exactly.
But
like,
I
imagine
think people are gonna
losing
do it.
access to any of that data. Like, or even like, I mean, like not even getting hacked, just like somebody, hacking your brain cloud, and now it's like, I don't know, some weirdo is like watching you use the bathroom from your point of view, and it's like, what? Like, I don't know, man.
It could get weirder than that. They could
It could
make
get weirder
you.
than that. It
They
could
can
get
make you
weirder than that.
see other things. They can make you see what they're
Ah.
seeing.
Ooh, that's a good horror movie.
Like think
Oh
about.
no.
Well, there was a movie like that already. Where like I forgot the name, but that who's that guy? The British guy.
Upgrade.
Is it Upgrade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he gets the implants of an AI that enhances.
Well, the entire
our
society had it. The entire society had chips in their head.
brain. Oh, no.
Oh, you're talking about the one with Hugh Jackman, right? No.
It wasn't
Oh,
Hugh
no.
Jackman.
You talking about game? You talking about Gamer or something?
No,
Game
it's
is
so
fantastic.
it's the guy that. Have you ever seen Children of Men?
Yeah. Something old.
That British guy was in this movie. He's the lead character. So he's like a detective trying to find some
Oh,
killer,
yeah.
and
That's
the
facts.
killer would hack. The killer would hack the brain of the
Implant.
victim
Man.
and make the victim see his perspective, and
That's
he would.
like
So they would see themselves getting. They would see
Killed.
themselves getting shot by this guy or
Mhm.
stabbed or whatever it is, and of course they would never see his face because in the society they would then take the brain and try to, you know, review the last few things that they saw, and they would only see themselves getting killed. So he would torture them where like they're like bumping into stuff because they can't see anymore. They just see this guy's perspective because he's hacked. I don't even know if it was a he, it might have been a she. Hacked their brain. So all of this becomes possible now. Like you could, yes, you could delete memories, but you could delete the memory of how to make your heart beat. Like you could delete.
Yeah.
You can
Is
be
that
like,
a memory? You know what?
it is a
Yeah,
memory.
it's
It's
like
like
It is a
deleting
memory.
your brain
deleting
knows how to
driving.
get access.
breathe,
I don't. I
how to
don't.
walk, all that
This-
shit.
It is. That's BIOS, right? That's
how
like
to walk,
BIOS
maybe.
level memory.
Yep.
All that stuff
It's
is
at the
basically
fabric of your
subsurface.
being, right? Like it's at the very beginning
know
of
if
what you
you-
memorized how to
the
do, but you had to learn how to
parasympathetic
do all
work
that stuff.
like that.
Well, guess what?
Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah,
this shit is crazy. I'm not looking forward to this future. I
When
saw
I
the
saw
Black Mirror episode, and I saw. Did y'all see the Futurama episode with the iPhone EYE?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it.
but it's happening.
I think it's
It's-
Carl's
inevitable.
right.
Man.
Like it's not. They're not turning back. They're only moving
absolutely
forward.
inevitable. I mean,
My only concern is how it affects the
Elon
workforce.
Musk makes this shit.
Like that's it. I think my biggest
How
thing
it
is how
affects
it
the
affects the workforce and how it's going to change classism even further. Because it's just if you're going against someone, and if you're interviewing right for another job, like for another position, and they either have the choice to pick, super enhanced, Michael over here, or dummy basic brain model John, they're not going to pick
I just
you.
don't even think it's gonna be like that. Like I feel like in 20 years there won't be jobs for whether you're superhuman or the level of automation is good enough or there's AI or expert systems. Like jobs
are gonna be
all the
obsolete.
way up the scale. Like, maybe we can claim as developers, you might be the last ones to have jobs, maybe. But
Maybe.
like in 20 years, we're all at risk. If you're an employee, it's gonna be rough out here. So like,
I mean,
not to
even if
get
you're a
political, but
business providing a service.
it's UBI, it's UBI or blood in the streets. Like I don't see jobs
UBI
being
or die.
exactly like I just don't see jobs being around. Like for what? Like
In the book I was
it's
reading,
too inefficient.
they had UBI, and then also they had like basically a super extreme version of Twitch, where people could like there was like these drones that followed you around. People could tip you based off of the
Yeah.
activities and stuff that you did. And then they had like basically like research because they had these like 3D printers that could print like medicine and they could print like vaccines and shit in your kitchen, right? And so there was like research jobs or like research or like science jobs you could pick up, and it all kind of worked off of think of like Fiverr or some shit. Like you
Hmm.
were just basically an individual, and then you would put yourself up for these positions, or you would be picked based off of how much you were charging. And I can see shit like that happen, right? Like no one has a set job. We're all just out here trying to scrape what we can.
I,
It's a no for me,
I
dog.
think we'd be lucky to have that. I
Yeah,
It's a no for me,
I
dog.
just see these jobs going
Yeah.
completely away.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that. And
that's
Let's
a
circle
goal.
not
back.
come back to it. Let's not come back
Circle
to it.
to so let's not come back. We'll
How
circle
dare
You
you?
want to
circle
think about
back
the
to
future beast?
gaming, right? Circle back
Listen,
to
the feds are gonna be
gaming.
the first one to get y'all motherfuckers out of there. You know what? We're gonna places these
I'm just
jobs.
saying, I don't want to be like Elon Musk make all this shit. Next thing you know, somebody comes out with this virus to hack all this shit, and next thing you know, zombie apocalypse because yeah,
Rest
I wouldn't say
assured,
zombie
rest
apocalypse.
assured,
mm-mm.
There's no money in
it's
that.
all coming.
Yeah. Either way. But so Ubisoft, they are shutting down HyperScape in April. I think we all tried this at one point. Like for me, the last time I played was with y'all. Probably, I remember it being like a super long wait for a match, and then once you got in, it was sweaty as a motherfucker. How like I don't know. I want to
Because only
say
the dedicated
Tech
played.
and JK, y'all enjoyed it a little bit. Y'all enjoyed some parts of it, maybe.
Look, I
But I think
downloaded the
y'all were the only
game.
ones.
I
Shit, our
downloaded the
podcast
game
outlived
with
HyperScape.
all the intentions of playing with JK and Tech. I'm like, yeah, I
For
just
sure.
downloaded this play. Oh, but it's this type of game. Oh yeah, it's that. Oh, okay, well,
Well, if I was available.
oh oh, you're not ready right now. Okay, well, come back. Delete the heck out of it. Wasted bandwidth. Downloaded it. Saw the initial load screen. Deleted it. Um,
Damn.
never happened.
Potential. It did have potential, and then after
movie.
It
playing
was
it
just too late.
for so what?
It was way too late.
Mm-hmm.
Way too late. It
Too buggy
was
in some situations.
yeah. And it just wasn't. I mean, like the
Compelling.
ideas were cool. Yeah, it just wasn't that compelling. Like it didn't have the character that Apex does. Apex has
History.
they focused on building that world out. Even I mean they piggybacked off a little bit off of Titanfall, but like they've created this whole other like world or
Universe.
universe in a
Well,
way, but even though it's in the same universe in the same world, but it just feels different. It doesn't even feel like Titanfall, and
Titanfall,
you get more you're more attached to the characters. But like Hyperscape, like what were the characters? Do you remember any of that? Any of that?
There weren't
two
characters.
characters. Titanfall was a higher level view of that world. Apex is a more
On the
personal,
ground.
detailed experience because you're learning the stories of different people in that world and how they grew up. So, like Valkyrie, she grew up. Her dad was a pilot and had the Valkyrie Titan, who she grew up with. And so then like, oh, okay, Valkyrie, Apex. Apex is one of the factions in Titanfall. Because you had the Apex, you had got the other ones, a whole bunch of other ones, but And so with Apex, and that's probably why they're not doing Titanfall 3, because they're like, you know what, people like Apex more because it's more personalized. Titanfall 3 is just another shooter,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like HyperScape, the reason why it failed was because it wasn't interesting enough to take you off of those games.
Yeah.
Now, did it fail completely, or it just didn't make as much money as they were looking
Failed
for?
completely.
Oh, it failed completely.
It failed
Dang.
after
The
after the first season. It failed.
No, after like the first, I think 4 months of release, the player base was halved. No, it was more than halved.
It was
Like,
more than half. It was the season one ended because it was around same time as Knockout.
yep.
Knockout blew that out the water, and then a lot of people left it and went back to Apex,
Oh, could we
or they
play
went back
knockout
to War.
tonight?
Huh?
Could we play some knockout
Oh, we
tonight?
played some Knockout. Yeah.
It's not totally necessary.
Rocket League. I think Rocket League is fun.
Um,
Rocket League.
but because that's why, like for instance, then there's a new game called Blood Hunt Masquerade that's coming out.
Yeah, that
That's
looks
Um,
out.
good.
that's
Oh,
actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good, and it's different. It's
Mm-hmm.
different because the players
Abilities
that you
too.
play on that are it's not personal to a extent, but it's a lot more interesting because it's dealing with vampires and it's almost like Blade without Blade, so to
That's
speak.
interesting. Yeah, no,
So
I agree.
yeah, so I think whatever I think it's a good. I think seeing Hyperscape fail like that is a good milestone for people. Like, okay, what not to do when they make a battle royale.
or
Yeah,
just
I
stop
think
Just not
making
it's
make a
battle
battle
royales.
royale.
these niggas. I mean, I think there's probably room for
There's no
more
more
of
room.
them, but I don't think there's. I think they came too late for the game to be like basically like a beta. Like
Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. They didn't have a good hook. They didn't have a good handle on like the balancing and the mat. Like it was too messy to come this late in the game. I think, and that's
Yep.
that's where
And
they
they had that
fucked up.
whole like crown system too at the end. So like you could win two ways, which was like the crown or by being the last one to survive. And so if you held the crown long enough, you won. And what would happen, people would just be hiding until the crown came, and then they would use all their mobilities, and then just say like, and they had that one where you could like literally build a wall, a tower in the sky, like
Yeah,
as high as you could, as high as you wanted to. And if you were to grab the crown and just start building straight up, you won. Because if no one could get you down, you're straight. And the cheaters were rampant in PC, so like
Oh,
that's one another reason why it was halved. They did not take their security well. Like cheaters were rampant. Um, I'd still say like the highlights of that game for me were mobility. Like the mobility, it was very fascinating. Um, I'm a very like I love to feel like my character isn't bound by physics. Like Titanfall 2 gave me that. Um, and it's like I'm playing a game to escape reality. I don't want to feel like take fall damage. I don't want none of that crap. Like I want that. So I would say that's a takeaway. And then their guns were fantastic. Like they felt solid. When you hit someone, it felt well deserved. And time to kill that was a rough one. Because
fast.
people could run from you with a sliver of health and just disappear. So like you would be playing the game and maybe if you're lucky get 2 to 3 kills. Um, but people could just dip. They could just run um, incredibly fast, and so yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
unfortunate.
never understood the time to kill in that game. It
Yeah,
was
time to
just
kill
it
was
was
bad.
I can never like get in the rhythm of getting in battles. It was just I mean, it was just it's what these big companies do. They're like, all right, EA has a battle royale, Activision has a battle royale, so naturally we're the third biggest publisher, so we need a battle royale, and so it's the also ran. So I they were just way too
Yeah,
late, and it was just wasn't as it was very it was generic. It was very generic in terms of the aesthetic, the you could smell esports all over it. You know, it was so broy and it just had no identity. You know,
That's
outside of
exactly it.
the yeah, like you don't remember anything. The only thing you really remember is the like Tech said, like the mobility, the different how they approach the different game modes. But like in terms of like I don't even remember what the map really looks like. I mean, it was just
I just
very
remember futuristic
generic.
landscape. Like that's it.
Yeah, and it has some good ideas, like the whole
Hack system,
yeah, the hack system and
the power of the weapons, like picking up more variants of that same weapon. That was kind
yeah,
of cool. I will
that
say that
is
was dope
I
yeah.
because
don't
like
remember none of that.
if you're it
You already checked out. That's
it rewards you if you're moving around the map enough and you're picking up other weapons. Um, but yeah, with some good ideas. Just I would say like we've agreed on, they got into the game late, um, and they did not solve their hacker problem. They did not solve time to kill and just skill gap. Skill gap became very prominent. The more you played, the better you got very quickly.
Yeah.
And and then that was another thing. They're sorting. You would get into lobbies where you would be a new player and you're going against a guy who put in like 100 hours. Um,
Yeah, that immediately will just turn you off from that game.
immediately. Um,
Yeah,
but
no
yeah,
different than Apex. Like
and they just couldn't keep players. It did not keep people from playing Warzone or Apex.
that felt like
Facts.
Destiny. Like the few times I played Destiny,
Mm,
I would spawn and die immediately. Like
that's
Yep.
fair.
I can't even get a step. Once dead. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Dude, no, I
when we
feel
got
you on
that
that. Like,
player,
I stopped playing Destiny and I went back to Crucible because I was like, even though I didn't want to do like the MMO stuff, I was like, there was still some cool weapons. I like the, some
Hmm.
of the feel and stuff, but like, man, you go in there, everybody is a hunter, everybody has the meta. It's over for you. You're not getting nothing. Ah,
Absolutely.
that shit was crazy.
Such
Um,
such a disappointment in terms of like being so attached to Bungie for years and years
Hmm.
and trying to
I
follow
just knew I
them.
was gonna love it. I knew I was gonna
Yeah,
love it.
right.
yes, yes.
And wow,
They let me
did I
down.
not? I did. Yeah, I that was the
Destiny.
last. That was the last game actually stood in line for a pre-order at GameStop. Destiny
Oh,
1.
Destiny.
Mm.
Yeah, 2014.
I remember
Oh,
seeing the clips and being super hyped for it, and
Hmm.
I couldn't get
one
into
and
it.
two. I played them religiously every night.
It's just man,
Did
like if you don't get a
Crucible,
team,
Nightfalls.
if you
Did
don't get a
the
team,
raids. Waited till midnight to do the raids. 7 other people. Sometimes we didn't finish. Sometimes
and that's shit
motherfuckers
I'm
got
all
mad
about.
and left.
I love
What
a
Those were
good,
great.
platform
I
you
love a good
played on? What
dungeon,
platform you
shit
played on,
like that.
JK?
I'm all for it.
PS4.
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it was a better community at the time.
okay, nothing wrong with that. Apple
Sure.
Apple.
is. This thing. Apple is working on its own console,
Uh,
supposedly.
Oh God, no.
uh,
They're working on
I.
other stuff.
Let's get this.
What
who
is
cares?
what is this
I thought
even
we
gonna?
already had a Nintendo.
Oh no! I mean, I feel like they could do something better than Nintendo if they wanted. I mean, these are the niggas with what I'm saying, their own silicon
Nintendo
in
could
their
do
back
something
pocket.
better than Nintendo.
Nintendo don't care about that though. Apple is I mean,
Exactly.
on their
Exactly.
laptops and their desktops, I will say they're consistently like pushing for more performance, more more functionality and stuff like that. And I feel
They
like they
grew
could.
into it.
That's true.
It,
You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong.
Like think about like early days of iPhone.
I
Were
don't
they
want to,
did they have
Carl.
cutting edge hardware? That
I
thing was
mean,
trash compared to what
still
was
is.
going on the
that
Android.
was that was a
Calm
different
down.
time. You bringing
No,
up old
they're
stuff.
those chips are on another level now. Nothing on
Mm-hmm.
Android could compare to that. But
Anyway, until I
back in the
am,
day, those chips were trash compared
Yeah,
to what Android was doing.
I'm a long way to still being trash. But anyway,
Definitely not.
you're bugging.
I don't even have an iPhone, but I can't let you slide with that one. No, their crap's on point.
I guess
I
I,
am
for
convinced to
I,
play
yeah.
with it. No,
what they are coming out with a
Chips.
VR
I'm just
headset
talking
too.
about hardware. That thing
They're coming
is
out with an AR headset, so I don't think they're from the
Oh,
rumors
okay.
I've
I don't even
seen.
believe that.
It's been AR headsets, like an AR VR combo maybe, but I do believe their
Maybe.
focus is
But
AR play.
we've been talking about
they're
this.
investing heavy in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's what
investing
Metal's about.
heavy in the AR play.
Absolutely.
mm-mm.
Oh,
So I
boy.
wouldn't be surprised on that if they did that.
Like that headset is rumored to be shown like this Apple event this year in November.
Yeah, well,
Well, not November. When do they do it? Like August or something like that.
Let's see.
September.
But yeah, September. Yeah, Texas.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen AR, VR, MR. So I don't know
yeah.
what to
R,
expect.
VR, YR.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we didn't see that showcased this upcoming September.
It's not gonna show
Maurice
up.
said they're also making a car. Apparently, I heard about that.
Yeah,
You
They're
see the
not
car.
making a
The
car.
car looks sweet. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, they haven't seen those are not legitimate pictures if you've seen pictures.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah,
So
if somebody
Car
try to do
looks
that,
sweet.
they will end up in a pile of old iPhones. Is
Mm.
I,
very
I I want them to come out with the car because I think that's the only way you get Tesla to come down on their prices because nobody's really competing with Tesla
mhm.
and they're the only ones that can. Um,
I don't think they will. I think they. I don't know. I. I
I
even
they probably won't, but I hope they do. I really
this
do hope they do.
even this console thing. I don't even think that's gonna happen. I. I. I don't know. We've been talking about an Apple console for years. Like
Have
I
we?
don't. I don't.
None of
Yeah.
it did.
Like, oh, for it's every once in a while it'll come up like, oh, is Apple working on a console? And when is Apple gonna
No,
get into the thing?
But
it's Apple TV. That's their console.
you said that's their
Yeah.
concept. They
Apple
are
TV is their
making,
console.
slight. They've been making slight pushes in the gaming.
I don't want to get
With
in the
their like
game.
Apple Arcade now. And I don't know, man. I feel like they could do something really interesting with all the other
What can they do?
features of of the connectivity of their devices, like handoff.
Oh,
Like, what if you could do? I don't know. What if you had like
you can
uh
send your
uh
save file to your iPhone.
yeah, and then you
Mhm.
could play that shit
Very
over
exciting.
iCloud.
This is the way he said it.
Let's not
He said you
incorporate
said
iCloud.
your
iCloud
iPhone.
is
obviously,
not
Kristen
great.
is
Like
not excited about this in the least.
I just don't.
iCloud's pretty trash.
iCloud's
I'll
pretty
believe it when I
trash.
see it. I believe it when I see it. That's the thing. Like I've been like I said. I don't. I think their Apple is very content with what the direction they're going. I don't think they're gonna make any big pivots into any new spaces.
They
Um.
don't do pivots. They just launch new stuff. They don't have to pivot anymore. They have so much money. They
So
just
This is
they just
true.
add.
Yep,
They
yeah.
just
they like
add.
they got a whole vertical and they just be like, all right, there goes another block on top of there.
By the way, they just had a quarterly earnings report. Most profitable they've ever been.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Like
Maurice said they
just
have some
imagine how
vital
profitable
studios for
they've been.
gaming.
Somehow they've gone higher.
Over the
Like that is nuts.
At this point, it's just keeping up with what's coming into the future. That's the only thing Apple's focused on because they know that eventually just this, right? Like just putting out this isn't going to be it. This isn't what we're going to be on in 10 years. This
No.
handheld thing, we're not going to do that in 10 years. So
But
what is their next iPhone? That's what they're trying to figure out now.
AR, I really think
Yeah.
AR is their next thing,
Oh
their
yeah,
next
mixed
play.
reality. Like people aren't going to get into VR. It's going to be mixed reality. Like people aren't ready just to put on the headset and chill at home and like chill at home yet. They still want to be out and about. Um, what form that takes is going to be the fun bit there.
So,
We'll see.
would y'all buy a console from any
Hell no.
other electronic maker? Samsung, LG?
God no.
Fuck
No.
no.
Fuck no. No.
But why
No.
not? Like what are they what do you think they wouldn't do for you?
Everything.
Like they have no is it just a credibility thing? You think It'll be too formulaic, their approach. Like, what do you?
Well, so like
What?
what like OS will it be running? Like is it
Yeah.
what's the
If it's
ecosystem doing?
Samsung, it's probably gonna be Tizen,
It's absolutely
right?
gonna
Oh
be Tizen.
no,
I'm
definitely not.
positive it's gonna be Tizen.
Definitely not.
But
what's wrong
LG
with it being
has.
Tizen?
Oh my bad. I mean, you know
It's
what's wrong with it being
it's
Tizen.
uh it's like it's nah. I think those days of another big manufacturer jumping in the console space, I don't know. I just
I mean, Microsoft
it'll be
came
I
in.
very.
don't.
You know, we had
But why though? That's what I don't understand. Why is that
money.
problematic? You think
Oh, why is it problematic? How about you,
It's
man?
not
Why are they trying to
problematic.
get
It's
in the
just not
gaming?
money?
exciting. It's not. It's not. I mean, they like you said. Another thing is building out that, that lineage and ecosystem, and the software to make all of this stuff like seamless in comparison to what we already have. Like,
Yeah.
what would be more compelling to get us off of our, Xboxes and PlayStations, right?
I mean, I don't think they
I
have to get you off of it, right? Because you don't own just one. You got the Xbox, you got the PlayStation, you got the Switch, you got, you know.
But what?
but
But
I
like, are
want
they gonna
all one.
offer? But what are they? What are they gonna offer? Are they gonna offer a more powerful Series X, or I mean, what? Like, what would be the
I mean,
selling point?
that's a
I,
good
I,
question. I feel like
do they
if
have any game studios that are gonna exclusively work with them? Like, I mean,
maybe
that's. I mean,
That's
content deals,
it appears that's what you have to have. You got to have exclusive content to launch something, right? And Xbox lucked up with Halo. Uh,
yeah, they super
what was
lucked.
it? Sega GT Racing in the early days. Uh, but it appears that's what you need. But the likes of Samsung, they have more than enough money to make it work. Um, is Are they gonna be willing to get the studios? If they get the studios, like I don't see the problem. I'm
I mean,
hoping to
they're.
apply pressure to not have this $70 game situation be here forever and not and put pressure on, a high-end console being $500. I would love for a high-end console to be $300. And maybe if another player came in, that's a possibility just to apply the pressure. I don't know.
It's. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you saw Google couldn't even get into this space. I
They
mean,
didn't really dedicate themselves because they
I'm.
never do, right? But if they dedicated themselves, which is to say, spend some billies to get a studio,
I mean, they
then
had
it
a
would have been
studio.
fine. No, what I mean, like a known in the street studio, like
I mean, they
get
had
a
people
franchise.
from known in the streets, like
that's not the same
studios.
though.
No,
That
it's
ain't
not
the
the same.
same.
It's certainly
And
not
they
It's
the
this. I
same.
mean, it's
definitely
the.
they
But
half-assed
it's.
it.
But they had everything there. Like everything was there. They,
But they didn't use it.
the
They had all the
all I'm
pieces to
saying.
Voltron, and they did not put that motherfucker together.
Mm,
That's all I'm saying.
I think what
They
killed.
focus on the developer experience and not content.
I just
Um,
I think that this like the gaming space is. I mean, if any of these other manufacturers were to come in, I think their approach would just be like just be a generic console that is you can play everything on it. So there's kind of just like another PC, like a more optimized PC or whatever. Um, I don't know. Like I don't see it's very hard to break into this space. Microsoft just happened to get very lucky with with Halo, and then also like they had the backing of Microsoft, and they Microsoft wanted to play the long game. They decided in early on that they were going to see it through even if it did fail this first time around. The first two times it didn't fail, the third time it failed. Um and now they're putting their money into it. And so I mean that's what it takes. I mean Sega failed
it's
twice with the
to me,
Saturn.
it's just a money play. Like if you're willing to spend the money, then you're gonna hire the people that are embedded in the community, and then they'll make the right decisions. So if Google decided, you know what, we're getting into gaming, and we got 30 billies to go all in. So they came with it like, okay, we got a developer experience. Okay, we got to play to hook people. But again, they didn't have the content and they didn't have enough people embedded in the community. They might have had a few that's running some studios, but unless you're a super diehard that follows this stuff, you don't know about that. You just know about content. So if they went in and they bought ZeniMax before Microsoft did, they could have done that. If they gone in and like, okay, maybe we don't want to spend enough money to say buy a EA, but have a strong partnership to where, okay, look, EA, have some of your side studios make us some exclusive content. We'll pay for early access to Madden, Battlefield, whatever it is. If they did something like that where the content is there, and that's all that is money. All that is money. If so, they didn't come in there with the willingness to spend the money, and Microsoft did. Uh, they were willing to do it and outlast it, right? So I think any of them can do it if they're willing to spend the freaking money. Um,
Okay.
so the question is, are they?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, look at real quick, look at like Epic Games, right? Like they, they came into it like they're playing the long game. Like they know that, in order to compete with Steam, like they're shelling out, hundreds of millions of dollars giving out free games because they know that that's the way that, they can
But
get
they're
people
not
over.
catching no L's though. That's the thing. Like they're already in it. They already have buy-in.
Oh, I
All
know.
they're doing
That's what
is
I'm saying.
investing in another branch, right? So
Yeah.
I'm saying it's easier for them. Like if you're a Samsung and you're super huge, like you bring in hundreds of billions per year, and you're like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to spend 30 billion, and I might see a return of 10 billion, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years if I'm lucky. They're gonna be like, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
True.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
So
somebody said it's the future, because we can make maybe some metaverse plays. How about we have the phones and we're gonna try to make a metaverse play other in another way? So I could see them doing that and not willing to make the investment. But anybody that's willing to make the investment, they could have a spot. And I would hope that happens because I want these prices to come down, baby. Like I'm not trying to spend all
facts.
this money. What was this Series X 500?
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to spend 200 less.
Mhm. So real quick before we go to the topic of the week, if one of these other electronics makers was willing to spend the money to make it happen, who do y'all think would make like the most appealing console? Who do you think would make the like I don't know, like a
The
better
sleekest,
controller?
the sexiest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, Apple, dude. Apple, when you talk about some freaking hardware, they should be able to freaking kill that. But, if they get too Apple-y, like black sweater Apple, it could be problematic. But just strictly from hardware, they should be able to do that. Now, again, they tend to be cheap. So I don't know if they're going to pay for content. Like when it comes to mergers, they don't spend too much money on mergers and acquisitions compared to a lot of other companies. So that's where the problem is. But if we're just talking hardware, I think they have the best bet right there, Apple, to do something sexy.
Mm,
I can see
I
that.
don't know. I feel like Apple's console would look something like the Wii U.
Oh no, what?
I feel like it would look just like that. Like the main, not the gamepad, but the little the
Oh,
actual console.
I
I
mean
think
maybe if this
it would
was
look
like
smack like that.
2007.
Nah, it would look like that always.
Nah, you
I don't
bugging.
know.
Yeah, but it
I
would
don't
be 5 millimeters thick. 5 millimeter thick Wii U. That's what it would be.
I don't know. I don't know. I would be more interested in maybe Samsung. I would see. They take chances in their designs.
You gotta take chances with
It
that
doesn't
Tizen.
always. Yeah, well, that's
No,
another thing.
so they probably I say Tizen, but that would eat up all their performance. They probably wouldn't use Tizen. They would use Linux because Tizen uses Linux under the hood anyway. They
Isn't
would
it
use
like
Linux.
isn't it like a fork of Android?
I think it's fair to say it's heavily influenced by the trail blazed by Android for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Apple will make a I wouldn't I don't know. For some reason I just don't think they'll make a great looking console.
I mean,
I'm just
maybe
thinking
we'll
of
get to see.
why
I'm
you
willing to take an L on the look if the hardware, like playable wise, is good and uh like I don't care too much about exclusive content too much. Like put it this way, if Halo is the only thing that could pull me. If somehow Halo ended up on a PlayStation, I'd get a PlayStation.
Mm,
But outside of Halo, like exclusive content wouldn't really pull me. I feel like I would get it if it's cheap. Like I don't get a PlayStation because it's not particularly cheap, and there's nothing enticing me. Like at least I have some ties to the Apple ecosystem, so that could kind of pull me maybe. Um, but you know, I want to see it happen just because I feel like there needs to be more competition, especially after this acquisition Microsoft made. We need some
they
competition out here.
they're moving the goalposts, man. They're making that shit hard.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But Microsoft was like, I don't know if y'all remember, but it was like a few years ago. He was like, I'm not really even competing with Sony and Nintendo anymore. Like I'm competing with Amazon and Google. So that's why they went like super hard in the streaming space because they was like, yo, we
That
gotta,
was so disrespectful, but very true.
yeah.
I'm like, Sony, we ain't seen that. This is small time.
Yeah, because
Sony, get out of
they
here.
they just yeah, like they're playing a different game now. So yeah, and that was and they were right in doing that because they made
Absolutely.
Stadia and Luna look very unappealing because we already have all they had to do is just be like, all right, Game Pass games that already have in your current systems, like that's just on the
Dude,
cloud too. Like
I thought,
boom,
you know, um, xCloud was gonna be an also ran.
nah,
Man, was I wrong? Like that
that shit is
was
serious.
far superior.
It's serious. Like they're not
Because of
fucking
the
around.
content again. That's
Yeah,
the main
Facts.
reason. Um, and like now Google is a little lackadaisical with their rollout. A lot of what they promised they didn't deliver. They promised I click a link to
yeah.
3 to 5 seconds I'm in a game. That never happened,
Yep.
right?
No, it did not.
They promised better YouTube/YouTube gaming integration. It didn't quite come the way they talked about. Um, I was supposed to be able to play on anything. That wasn't quite true, right? So they didn't deliver on a lot of promises. If they had delivered on those things, I feel like Stadia would be looking a lot different right now. Um, I don't know why they don't just make it happen. Like maybe it is that hard. But
They oversold themselves.
dude, but if
If only.
I still feel like it's not too late. If they could
It's not too late.
actually really deliver on
That brand is tarnished.
it
Like,
is, but I would mess with it if you can literally do
but
click
would
a
you
link
buy?
and I'm in a game.
But would you buy? Would you buy
I have a
a
couple
game
free
on there?
games. Let's not get crazy. I already have a couple free games that I can mess with. But if somebody could give me a trial of a game and it's a link and be like, okay, I got 10, 20 minutes of playtime. and they could drop me a link. I'm automatically in their party. I'm in game within a few seconds. That's crazy. Nobody's doing that right now, right? That would absolutely set them apart, and that would be that I would give them another shot off that. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. They're just like, yeah, we promised that. That's probably never gonna happen. So that sucks.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's talk about this topic of the week. Valve is launching the Steam Deck next month. I want to say they're the first shipments are going out the 25th, right? February 25th.
Yep.
Did
But
did y'all pre-order?
yep. Um, hopefully
Mhm.
I got the mid-tier version. Um, but I guess I should check on because I know that they're doing like a staggered release. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing like the low tier version first,
Oh,
and
really?
then the mid tier version like later the year, and then like the high tier is like next year.
Don't worry about me,
It's
Maurice.
very weird, very weird. But I'm actually excited about it because the way I look at the Steam Deck is it's just going to be like my all-in-one fighting game machine. Like all my fighting games are going to be on there. Um, and I can take that anywhere. Like, yeah, it's I'm already sold on this shit. So
Will it? Is it? How do y'all
I feel
think it's
like
gonna change the handheld gaming landscape?
I
Go
don't
ahead,
think
Carl.
it. Well, I don't know.
I
Hmm.
feel like I want it just because it's a computer.
Yeah,
100%.
you can do crazy stuff with it.
I want an ultra portable coding situation. So if I can like Bluetooth, I don't know how big that screen is. It probably is not big enough for coding, but
No.
if I could just Bluetooth keyboard it and mess with it, because I want to get a new iPad for that reason. I want it like a 13-inch iPad and just see if I could code on that. But even if I can't do that, just the fact that it's a full blown x86 setup, that's kind of compelling to me. I probably still won't get it like a day one type of thing, but I'm interested for sure.
I
Yeah.
don't think it'll change the landscape of handheld gaming that much because I think just the price point is still very expensive. Especially for that. So I think it'll just be more of a boutique problem. I mean, boutique product.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
What I do think is going to happen though, I think it'll really get. I think it'll get more people just in PC gaming in general. I think they're gonna get the Steam Deck and like, yo, like I got access to all like all these games on here, all these different storefronts that I can put on here, and so I think they're going to get addicted to that aspect of it, the freedom of PC gaming. I think this is just kind of like whetting people's appetite for that. So
You still have Xbox Live. You still have a Game Pass on there if you want to.
Yeah.
yep,
I definitely want to. So I guess for me, what I was thinking about was like, I mean, there's other like handheld PCs, but like
they're way too
they're
expensive.
like twice the price.
Yeah.
Do y'all think like this is gonna kind of help, you know, bring
Kill
those
that.
down?
No.
Because like I
Nah,
mean, the low end joint is only $100 more than a Switch. I mean, only is a relative term, but you know,
I
second,
mean, the
third, or part.
Switch is a low-end cell phone with a big screen, so
I'm saying you get a much better device for $100 more.
exactly, exactly. So it's definitely worth the delta for sure.
I'm
um,
interested to see if somebody turns into like a hacking cybersecurity.
you already know that.
I want to see how, you know, if they do and they post it. That's
They
what I
have
want.
all the connectivity. Like
Yeah,
you don't even have to do anything special for it. It is a PC. right? You could put
Yep,
Linux on it, you could
100%.
put Windows on it. So everything else just works. And then I believe they're making cellular versions of it, right? So you have even more connectivity than the average PC. They're not doing cellular?
No,
I thought they were
not that
doing
I
a
know of.
cellular version.
They're
Mm-mm.
gonna
Oh,
make a
well,
dock, but
missed
I don't see
opportunity
cellular.
there. I want cellular.
Yeah. I think
I always
cellular would
want
have made it
cellular.
too expensive though.
I mean,
They're gonna do a
Well,
cellular.
you could just hotspot. You could just hotspot it.
There you go.
I don't think it's a big deal.
I want cellular.
Okay.
I want cellular.
I
Look, whenever I get an iPad, it's cellular. I'm not doing the hotspot.
There's gonna be Mint Mobile for your car.
understandable, but I don't. I think probably for most people, I mean, if, like this is already like a pretty like niche product. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it'll been worth it for them to try and get like a cellular chip in there, for what it would have cost.
True.
Um,
Yeah.
and
I
then
figured they probably like, yeah, just hotspot. Everybody
do
has
whatever you were gonna do with your
Wi-Fi.
laptop. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
that's where they at with it. I feel like on that one. I also pre-ordered. I was peer pressured by people I'm not gonna name who own Switches um into pre-ordering. And I
Um,
got the high tier because I don't own a Switch. I don't want it. Like I want more pictures. I do, but it ticks the
Uh,
biggest boxes that I wanted for like handheld gaming. Like I want the games that I already own, and I want to take them with me. And I feel like I think I told you I got the Backbone controller, the iPhone controller. That thing is fantastic with like XCloud. I mean, I had a consistently better streaming experience, like streaming from the Series X to my phone, the XCloud. But I expect that that's gonna, continue to improve. But even so, my phone is getting old. The screen is smaller than I'd like for gaming. And if I'm not at home, like that network connectivity can be rough trying to play like over game streaming. And
Yo,
so,
so I remember you said you try to play xCloud
yeah,
on hotel Wi-Fi, right?
bruh,
Yo, that was I tried to play the gunk on
struggle.
xCloud. That
Trust me.
shit, my character was like going up and it was bad. So I see exactly what you mean when you don't have that solid connection for
Yeah,
game streaming.
Yeah.
It's rough, especially at hotels because all that shit is shared.
single
hotels,
digit megabits at hotels, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
If that.
I don't know
disrespectful.
how they get away with that. Like this day and age, like bandwidth shouldn't cost you that much money. Like you're already charging an arm and a leg to
I'm
stay there.
saying for the room, but
Yeah,
I'm circling back to Steam Deck. Um, the so it the first box that I needed to tick slash my pet peeve about handheld devices. I don't want to join a new ecosystem just to have like anything to play when I'm not sitting at the desk or sitting in the living room. I'm not interested in that. And then like my other big one is I don't want to pay gaming laptop prices. Like I'm willing to, like when we saw that Alienware joint that was like this fucking big.
Win one.
I was like, all right, I'll pay laptop prices for that. I was like, this is a dream right here. I can take my games on PC. I can take my Xbox game streaming. I can take it with me. Um, and that's all I want. I want to be able to stream with a decent size screen, and I want to take my games that I have with me. I feel like we're heading in that direction with this, and making it like affordable is relative, but console priced. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I was like, all right, I'll take that. We're heading that direction. I'm excited about it. I am curious about the longevity. I'm
It was all a
concerned.
dream.
Like,
That is a good concern because Valve is kind of Google-ish in their hardware
dog,
endeavors.
dog.
I do.
Will Valve kill it too soon? Is the question I keep just like thinking.
Yeah.
Like that's a big concern for me.
It seems like it does seem like they're dedicated. Um, It seems like they want this to succeed. So I'm a little bit just how they've kind of handled it so far. I think that I'm a little more optimistic in how it'll turn out. But in the same breath, it is in the back of my mind, like, yo, this jank could be gone in the next 2 years. It could be
But if
discontinued.
it is, at least it's a PC.
I mean, I guess
You could still you could still game on it because it's a PC.
Yeah.
that's. I mean, that's true. Maury said that joint gonna be on Woot next week. Nah,
It's gonna be
I'm gonna
like,
Non
oh
Google it.
yeah,
old PC.
Right?
Damn.
Exactly. Non-upgradable. Yeah. See, I don't want that.
That
And
would
they're
be a
good.
game
Them
changer.
and Google are both good for just like hyping people up. Like, this what you want right here. This what you want. And then just drop that motherfucker off the face of the earth.
yep,
Now
And
that would be a game changer if they had a like something like the Steam Deck,
mhm.
but you remember that a couple years ago they had like that phone with that module phone you could put piece together and put like your own RAM, put like
oh
RAM.
yeah,
Oh, I think
That would
mm,
be interesting if they
they
had
got
a
a
Steam
laptop
Deck.
like
I
that.
don't know why that was never compelling to me, but it should have been because I know like most people like that. It just wasn't what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
was it not sleek enough or
It wasn't sleek. It wasn't sexy.
there?
It was like a nerd fantasy type of thing, but besides that, there was
Like,
nothing super compelling.
be
Mm-hmm.
careful what you wish for type shit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, like yeah, it would be great. Design your own phone, yeah, but like none of it was particularly high end. And it's like you're dependent on them
More
to
modern.
make it sexy in the future for it to be worth getting.
Right.
And of course, it didn't last. And
It never got
the
released.
mid-tier phone that you would have gotten would have been garbage in like 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Like as far as this drink, let me see. Let me go back to it real quick. The
Yeah, I
low
mean,
end is $3.99, right? And then on the high end is $6.49. So $50 more than the Series X. The Series X is gonna keep me entertained for the next 6 years. Like I need them to, not just kill it off. Um,
Yeah, I think the low end model is the one that's not upgradable. At least
oh
the
really?
storage. Yeah,
mm,
I think the low end one is I think everything is
It is what it is.
that is what it is.
Damn.
um yeah, so yeah, I started out the mid tier. I was like, you know what? I don't need, it's not gonna be a big part of, my daily routine. Like it's a novelty product and I want it. I want to see what it can do. I want to game on it. I have a specific use case that I'm thinking of to use it for. And then also I mean shit, the the fact that it's portable and you can have all of the like, hundreds of games that I have access to, like I
Oh,
mean
who
that
beat that?
it's yeah, you can't beat it. So, and I love the Switch, but this
Hmm.
is, you
Mhm.
know,
hey, Switch don't do that. Switch don't do that.
nah,
Doesn't do a lot of things.
Oh wow. All right.
yeah. But
Y'all want
I
to?
mean, it still won't make a dent in Nintendo. I'll say
It
that.
sure
That's
won't.
true. They won't. That's very true. Are you gonna get the dock?
Mm, nah, probably not. This is gonna be straight up handheld for me.
Does it have wireless charging?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think you get high speed charging over USB C, but I don't think you're gonna
So
get
wireless charge.
wireless charging.
It would be
Let's
a
see.
Yeah,
lot bulkier than if they did because they would have to add
Nah,
the
40,
the little
45 watts, but you're not gonna get wireless charging.
yeah. Yeah, I won't get the dock because I already have a gaming laptop, so it's
True. You don't
this
need
is
the
gonna
dock.
be all handheld.
What if you got a
well,
computer emergency on the go?
Uh,
Let's try
I'm not even sure
crystals.
what that would be consist. What that would consist of.
I'll just go home. I don't think I'll be that far away from home
Time
these
for you
days,
to
especially
leave.
these days.
Oh,
Yeah,
facts.
it's like
Exactly.
usually only time I go out, go to a little coffee shop or some shit, and if I have an emergency or something,
Next
or I
Wednesday.
forgot to tell them that it was oat milk and got to run home,
Right.
that happened the other day actually. So
Damn.
I paid for that.
They
I
about being
pulled,
lactose now. That's crazy.
is that something that you, as you get older, you just get? Is that just part of getting older?
Well, from what I understand, most black people are lactose, just to varying degrees. And
Oh, I guess I'm
yeah,
not
you
part.
just sort of deal with it your whole life, and
I've
maybe you're less
definitely.
able to deal with it as you get older. But
Guess I'm not
I
black.
I know I've been lactose from like early in life, but that ice cream was just so good. But we have the various oats, coconut milk, soy milk. There's options out here, so I try to stay away from the dairy as much as possible.
Guess I ain't black then.
What's that?
He said he guess he ain't black. Nah, it's definitely been my experience that it's like more pronounced as I've aged. And I mean it wasn't like since I was young. Like I love like I used to drink milk straight out the refrigerator for no reason except that I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yep.
But these
I did that
days,
too, and it would jack me the hell up.
nah. See, I wouldn't have no problem. And then when I like, not today, man, that is no
Otherwise,
longer.
and I drink chocolate milk, so I ain't got no excuse.
Nah.
Chocolate milk.
Yes, sir. Chocolate
That's
milk is the way
perverse.
to go. Yes, sir.
What's
That
wrong?
is.
This nigga Maurice said, "Stop putting white substances in black bodies."
Man, he ain't lying.
Oh my!
Chocolate milk.
He's not lying.
So,
Ah, it will tear you up.
oh my god,
I will
It
say
is
oat
not
milk
good
is
for
actually
you.
not bad. Oat milk is not bad.
oat milk is
No, it's
some
Oat
good.
milk
of
is
them. I've
bomb.
tried a couple
Actually,
different
milk is really
brands,
good.
but oat
But
milk is.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like maybe it's a family thing. None of my family's lactose.
Oh, true. Hey,
Not.
You know what? Here's the thing. I feel like people have dairy so much they might not even know they're lactose.
that's true too.
Like they like
Yeah.
you just sort of like, oh, that's just life. Because if you, depending on your diet, like if you just eat regular like processed food, almost everything has dairy in it.
True.
Like, what was I looking at? Like, for example, like if you get like salt and vinegar chips, some potato chips have dairy in it.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like that doesn't even make any sense, but it does. So depending on how much processed foods you eat, you've been dealing with dairy your entire life for almost every meal and you just don't even realize it. So you might be experiencing some information and then you're like attributing it to this other food when in fact it might be dairy.
Well,
Hmm.
I just had pizza, so
I mean,
I had
I
cauliflower pizza.
yeah, I still eat dairy sometimes. I buy lactase, and I live my life.
Yep. I just take that
Go to
risk. If I know
Costco,
I'm
get
gonna be
the
home, I go for it.
exactly, absolutely.
I'm out, if I'm like at an airport or I'm just out and about and we're a place I don't want to like have to take a shit, like yeah,
Yeah, even with the lactase, I'm not
oh
doing it
yeah.
out. As
don't want to
I'm
risk
good
it.
on that. Nah, not at all.
You want to
You don't want to
use
get into
public restrooms.
negative.
That is
I
a
said
no
hell no.
skis.
All right. So let's talk about what's good real quick. I'm at the tail end of a sprint, so I haven't watched or played a bunch of stuff. We just started the new season of Ozark. This shit is looking wild as hell. I will never
Oh,
understand
you're
these
in for it,
kids.
homie.
Motherfuckers.
Like, what the fuck are y'all on? Like,
That
what world
son
are y'all
needs that
living in?
son needs to get his ass whooped.
Yo, Joe, like
Man,
It's
Jonah is
dumb.
this
giving me
man getting
fucking
bucked.
Yes.
What's the little nigga from Power?
Oh, Tariq.
Bruh. Come on, don't fucking
Yo,
Tariq it
that
up.
seriously though, like he is on some Tariq shit right now.
Oh my, he pissing me all the way off.
It's
I'm
like
like,
dog. It's like dog. Like, all right, we're in a shitty situation. We got to do some shitty stuff. Don't
making the
like,
best of it.
don't be the
some dumb
fucking,
shit.
don't be the dude, don't be the motherfucker on the, with the right mindset and like be logical. No, we're in an illogical situation. We can't act like we're in. You can't like be moral right now. Like you gotta. This is a
Make room
crazy.
for some great shit.
Yeah, we got to get out of this situation. But you're the one that's out here fucking it up. So
Mhm.
yeah, he need to get his ass whooped.
That nigga gonna get them killed.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, watching Math still. Not all the way caught up for this week. I have a little bit of hope for most of them. The nigga that hasn't been in a relationship pretty much ever. I don't know how that's gonna go.
So you said they're in Boston again?
Yeah, they're in Boston.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and they got two black couples, one
Man,
Asian couple, and two white couples.
man,
Oh,
Hulu need
whatever.
to get on their shit, dog. Like they're like way behind on the seasons. Like I think I'm like 2 seasons behind.
Oh, facts. Yeah, if you don't have the live TV, I'm like, what? They like, nah. If you want to watch it, nigga, you gonna pay.
Dog, I'm like I've been waiting. I've been like I check every now and then. I'm like, guys, did they
And they
drop it
just
yet?
don't.
And they being stingy right now, and I'm
Who do you
kind
have
of
for
salty.
TV?
I have nobody for CB. Like,
Nigga don't watch
Hulu is close, as close as I get to TV.
Hulu.
Yeah, but not Hulu Live.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Sorry
Oh.
for you.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that. Like when I went this last weekend to babysit at my sister's and they got regular like plain Hulu, and so yeah, my wife was like, yeah, well we can catch up on that, and that shit was not there. I was like, what?
Like
Are you
nope.
sure? So I went
Yep,
over there and looked for sure, and it was not in there. I'm
it's not
like,
there.
bro, that's crazy. I didn't expect
It's
that.
it's
That's
tearing us
wild.
apart.
That's wild,
Sheesh.
cuz.
It's like 10. They were like, all right, you want this? It's 10 times the price of the Hulu you're paying for now. It's like, I don't know if that's worth it if you're not already watching TV. But
Look, you need to split a YouTube Premium subscription with somebody,
facts.
or not a YouTube Premium, but like a Google
YouTube
TV.
TV.
Yeah, I got YouTube TV.
If YouTube TV have ABC,
Yeah, yeah,
that's what we
sure
have.
does.
But it's YouTube TV is so I can't justify. I really don't watch like
Enough TV.
Yeah.
not enough for that. Like and then them commercials be killing me, dog. Them just be killing me. I was experiencing that at the hotel. It's like nah, this is bad. I can't
Uh,
do it.
That's why I can't watch movies. I'll be like, bro, all these commercials, and then be
Terrible.
movie
See,
time for
I
2 hours.
I don't really watch commercials, man. Like anything I want to watch that's live, I just DVR it. You have unlimited DVR, and then I just fast forward through all that. I just don't watch it live.
Ho. They let you
Um,
fast forward through the commercials?
yeah.
If you
Nah,
DVR
Hulu
it.
will make you sit through that shit.
I mean, that's that
Even off the
Hulu
DVR.
life. I don't get involved in that.
If you record it, you can. But if you go
That's not
through
my
like
business.
on demand shit, they'll make you watch the commercials.
Yeah, on demand makes you watch
Yeah,
the
that's
commercials.
not
That's
how I'm living. That is not how I'm living. I'm
oh
fast
man.
forwarding, baby. So, because really, I got YouTube TV for my parents because
Mm-hmm.
they're all about cable. I'm like, dude, you need to stop this cable stuff.
Yo,
So
seriously,
I,
like my parents are
so I,
still on that shit. I'm like,
so I convinced them by giving them that, right? So I gave him that, and I gave my dad like a Chromecast, a Google with Chromecast TV. So he has the whole remote experience. So it feels like, same friend. And so, yeah, so I got YouTube TV and then added him to my family so he could get it. So now he's getting that for free. And then I'm like, well, since I have it, might as well I use it. So I've been getting my NBA and Formula One with that. But I almost never watch that crap live, right? I just DVR it and then I fast forward. Like it's so satisfying because you could watch a game in like an hour
Or
when you
10
can
minutes.
fast forward through commercials.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
I watched
you know.
the highlights.
I
Uh,
do, but sometimes you don't get a feel for the emotional swing of the game.
True, true.
And I usually want like for the teams I don't care about too much, that's more than enough is the highlights.
mhm.
But like for, Golden State, I like Golden State. I wanna I wanna take that all in.
You worse than my mom.
What are you talking about? Your mom fast forwards too?
Oh no, she records every game, college, summer league, NBA, WNBA,
I got unlimited DVR. There's no reason not to.
and she watches every single one.
No, I don't do that. Like I don't catch all the Golden State games.
She watches every basketball game, every WNBA game, every college game.
That's a
And
lot of dedication, man.
That's
Like,
hell yeah.
even with fast forwarding, that's still a ton of content.
Yeah.
I don't watch all of them.
I say she
Like
watches, but she really doesn't. She plays Candy Crush and has it on. So
Mm,
oh, okay. Well,
that's different. Yeah, that's a little bit different. All right, let me. So what else? Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm still watching that. That joint is hilarious. Like it's
still
so
watching that
crazy.
psycho
This
shit.
it's just like wilder and wilder every episode. Like the maneuvering and the lies they be telling and like it's wild. Watching Demon Slayer. I finished this week's episode. That joint is wow. Have y'all seen it? Episode this last episode?
so I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, the movie, is it essentially the train arc or is it completely different than that train arc?
It's before the entertainment district. Train arc was a whole
It was like the movie with a little bit of extra.
yeah.
It was like the
Okay.
movie, but you know how they be like, this has been formatted to fit your TV. It was like that. That was the train arc.
Okay.
That's a good
All
part.
right. So I just started watching again. So I just started the entertainment arc. So I'm still
Okay, yeah.
behind. But
All
I was
right.
curious.
That thing
I didn't
is
watch the
crazy.
movie.
This
I
man there said, "Yeah, I'm gonna slice this nigga's throat and keep my 2 fingers on the blade and cut you." He's like, "Oh, this nigga got 2 fingers on the blade. He got some incredible strength. Incredible strength. That's superhuman.
yeah, facts. Hey,
That is
I
superhuman."
mean, these people do different breathing techniques and healed
it's true.
wounds, fly. And
Recovery
I
breathing.
mean, holding a sword with 2 fingers is the least of what these bofos are doing on this show.
Facts.
Like they're doing some ridiculous things.
I'll be trying to do the same breathing technique. I'm like, man, let me learn these breathing technique real quick.
Hey, you need
Qu-
to
question:
you need to
the
sensei.
sun breathing, did that happen in this
A
entertainment
little
arc,
bit. You get a
or
little bit. They give you a taste,
get a
not a
little
lot.
sun breathing? Oh,
A little
I
bit.
need that. I need that sun breathing.
More than a little taste.
I need that
You get
sun
some.
breathing though.
And then I don't know. They got this crazy demon they fighting. And then so they ended on a cliffhanger, but I don't think they're about to give my boy Tanjiro a break. They about to like put that nigga through a wall. Cause that's
You
how
gotta
it be.
learn.
Like at the last minute, they just be like, "Bah, get your ass out of here."
You gotta learn.
It's over.
So that
He said,
crazy
"Gotta
demon
learn."
is that like a top two demon or
Top
what,
six,
Top
upper
six.
six.
top
Top
six,
six.
upper six? Okay.
She's not even the upper six.
I mean, we ain't gonna. Oh no, Carl, you unspoilable.
Carl don't care. Carl don't care.
I
Man,
don't care.
Carl, it's
Drop all the
two.
knowledge.
It's two demons, dog. It's two demons. So it's the girl. She got, and so she's like a uh.
Sister, basically.
You said what?
It's a brother and sister. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
she has the. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just saying she's. Well, what I was saying was that she's like basically like I don't know, like an Edo period prostitute or whatever, and she's like the highest earner in the house, and so she's in there doing whatever the fuck she want. She got this belt that she putting motherfuckers into. You know how some people like flatten flowers in a book and will like yeah,
Yeah.
she doing that to motherfuckers and like going back and eating them later. No, And then
Gee,
later,
wow.
she got a whole nother demon that come out her back, and you gotta kill them. You gotta cut off their heads at the same time. Bruh, it's crazy.
It was out, I thought it was out his back.
Nah, I mean, because she was there first. Oh wait,
oh, you know they switch. They switch. Cause I call that nigga sickle cell. Cause
Oh wow. Oh
that
wow.
looks sick as fuck.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm talking about, you'll see why I said that.
Yeah,
But
he is
nah, this like you think like in this whole art, you think Tanjiro working this thing. Oh, got an ass. Wait, she ain't dead. I was like, oh God, okay. Now you bring out the second one, who's a lot more deadlier, a lot more psychotic, kind of like Tenjin.
No, I was just gonna say Nezuko put in some work as well. You get to see that.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see how much how well he does, cause
yeah, Tengen is what's his name? Tengen. Either way,
Tengen,
whatever his name is, he
that sound nigga. That's what I call him.
The sound Hashira. He doing his best in there, but these mofos are advanced. They in here attacking at the same time. The girl, so they each have two eyes. They put one third eye on the girl head so he can see what they're doing while she's on the roof, and send belts through the floor. I mean, through the ceiling and
That's
shit.
ridiculous.
Bruh, it's crazy. I didn't expect all that.
And she can utilize the same poison as him. So it's almost like two people splitting from one body. Yeah. Utilizing two different powers. Yep. And on top of that, the motherfucker is not only has killed 17 Hasharas.
Yeah.
She's killed 6
Harishas, right? Who's that?
Hasharas, Hasharas.
Hashiras. Hashira.
Hashira. And so she's killed 6, I think. Numbers could be off. She's killed 6. This nigga's killed 13. And the only time she got scared was when she saw Tanjiro burn the fuck out of her bands. Yeah. And she's like, why do I recognize this shit? And she's like, wait, that's not me. It's the goddamn demon that made demons blood scared at Tanjiro. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, man. So you need to catch up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Crazy. So watching that, man, I don't know what's about to happen next week, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been playing a little bit of Halo Infinite. I got a couple attrition matches in. That it's real fun when you can like get a coherent team together. And I'm definitely looking forward to them bringing some more, kind of like tweaked Halo 5 and previous Halo modes in there. And they did just put out that like fire looking skin for the shotty. I kind of want it. So I might, have to, skip out on some more.
Open up the wallet.
What? No, you got to beat the mini battle pass to get it.
Yep.
I mean, okay, they're asking too much.
All right, can't pay your way this time.
Exactly.
Well, not until you.
I mean, I've never done it before. That's not how I get down.
Oh, gotcha.
Hard work and dedication. That's it.
Absolutely.
Hard work from job and dedication from the credit card.
Facts.
Gotcha.
How dare you?
Rocket League and then Euphoria, which that thing is.
God bless you, mofos, for watching that.
I mean, okay. What I will say about that is that I feel like they're getting real creative this season with like the flashbacks and just like breaking the fourth wall. So like that part is like super interesting to me. I enjoy like a well done kind of like genre bending experience. Like if it's not for the content and like the narrative of the show.
All right.
Oh my god. just seeing people like be creative, seeing what kind of stuff they come up with when they can like like break the rules a little bit. So that's been interesting for sure. But that's it. That's all I got, man.
He plays that role well too well, way too
So,
well.
Who's Zendaya?
Zendaya, yeah.
yeah. And I mean, they be acting they asses off on that show. That thing is fantastic. As far as
I'm
like
like,
just skill, it's crazy.
I'm I'm looking like I'm like, what childhood did these motherfuckers like?
Look, I just hope they're not doing method acting because I have a feeling
Oh
they are.
no,
I
I
don't
don't
say
think
that,
so.
Carl.
I don't
I
think
feel like they
anybody.
are. Like, I
No.
don't
I
know. I don't know.
Definitely not for Zendaya. Definitely not for all of them. I
Oh,
think they.
whoa, whoa, whoa. So why they can't do it? They're too good for that? Is that what it
it's
is? They're just so amazing.
I think
Get out
maybe
my
we're talking a
face.
little bit about
Oh.
health and like we watch we usually watch the little after show they have where they kind of talk about the episode, and one of the cast members that are new for this season, she was saying that she was looking into like how addicts talk and whatever. So I don't think anyone is actually doing heroin
Yeah, yeah, sure.
or fentanyl, anything else. But yeah, I guess it's possible, but I don't think so. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's it for me.
they don't want to be caught. They don't want to be caught cheating. I get it. They want to be acting. They want that Emmy. They're real actors out here. Get out my face. I get it.
Hey, they be acting like a motherfucker. So what's good with y'all?
We hope.
Oh
We hope.
no,
Wow.
I definitely hope, 100% hope.
One
Um,
piece of.
so who wanna go next? Talk about what they've been fucking with this week.
I could go ahead.
Okay, this week.
Wasn't it wasn't a lot of content that I consumed. Just kind of been, work has been picking up, and I just got out of school stuff, so I've been busy with that. But I did manage to get some gaming in. Mainly on Sunday, Beast and I did the Serious Sam Sunday stream. Video of that is going up. Is it already up, or is it? Oh, it's going up probably tomorrow. Which is what is tomorrow? I don't even know what today's date is.
It's
Uh,
Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday.
the 28th. So it should be up on the 28th.
That's okay.
That's yeah. So that's been super fun. Serious Sam, if you're not familiar, it's a very it's pretty old franchise. It started in like I want to say early 2000s as a PC mod, and then they changed it into and it spun it off into its own thing. But the whole thing is it's a mix between like Duke Nukem and Doom. Duke Nukem with the cheesy one-liners and the cocky protagonist, cheesy action tropes, all of that. Doom with the speed of the enemies. But the thing that is different from Serious Sam and the other games I mentioned is they throw like it seems like they throw like hundreds of enemies at you in one encounter. Like they just swarm you. Um, so that's so that's been super fun. Um, Played a little bit of Halo. Like I think one night of the evening I played Halo. Actually, no, I played MCC. I went back and played MCC. Still fun. Still enjoying it. Especially since Infinite. I was like, yeah, I got something to say, but it doesn't matter. MCC is still the goat.
Sure.
Is it
uh,
though?
yeah, absolutely. Um, until Halo Infinite, until they get on that content train, I'm just gonna be jumping back and forth. I still have a good time. Still hyped to get in a Halo 3 match and reach 4 and 2 and 2 is just so sweaty. Like I don't understand why 2 is just so fucking sweaty. Like I just want to play some classic Halo 2 and motherfuckers are like pulling off MLG shit, like MLG shit from like 2005. Like, come on now, like
But to be honest, that's kind of how Halo 2 started. It started like that.
it. Well, yeah, it
Like,
started the whole esports landscape, like the way we understand it now. There's always been esports, but Halo 2 really put it on the map.
yeah, and
But
it started off like the whole camping, like super duper tactics, trying to get stuff.
yeah,
It was heavy on that.
absolutely. So yeah, and then yesterday spent like a good 3 4 hours playing a bunch of fighting games, starting with Blaze Blue Central Fiction.
Hmm.
That came out. It's a pretty old game, but the reason why it's kind of reemerged is they're adding rollback netcode. And basically what that means is it's kind of the equivalent if a FPS was like peer to peer and then it switches over to dedicated servers. It's the same like kind of jump in quality from delay based netcode to um, rollback netcode. So it's a big deal. It's getting a lot of people to play the games again. And also another Arc System Works game, Blaze Blue Cross Tag. We played that, and same deal. They're getting a rollout of rollback netcode. Also played some Guilty Gear Strive and ended off with Street Fighter Five. So just kind of really getting the fighting game bug back. Um, I'm gonna be playing a bunch of stuff in the next like couple weeks or so. One of the one games I'm probably gonna start grinding is King of Fighters 14 because 15 is coming out in mid February. So I'm trying to really learn that system a bit more. And I'm actually really excited about 15 because the betas that they released were was pretty fun. So that's gonna be next on the fighting game list. In terms of shows, I didn't watch that much this week. Saturday night, me and my wife went through. We got sucked into the Ozark fucking abyss, and we mainlined that whole part one of this season 8. Oh, I mean, was it season
It's
5?
part one?
Yeah, it's part. There's going to be another part.
Oh
Yeah,
shit. That's crazy.
Yep, yep. So
four.
yeah, we blasted through this thing. Like we stayed up till like 4. She outlasted me. I was so shocked because usually we get around like 12:30, then she starts passing out. But nah, like this show is just so we got sucked in so much that like we just couldn't stop watching. It was like, another episode. Another episode.
So that's her type of
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
That's her type of show. She like anything dealing with murder,
Murder
killing,
and
I mean, you said it.
crime.
You said it kind of
drugs.
strong. You trying to? What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
I already said it enough. I don't need to say no more.
yeah, that's definitely her speed. Um, but yeah, Ozark is so stressful
No reason.
and but also so great. So I'm just enjoying that ride. The other thing on Netflix, I've been watching a lot. I will be honest, I've been watching a lot of Netflix the last few weeks. There's been a lot of good stuff to kind of keep me on that platform, and we talked about it before, but it's just the preferred way in terms of like just the experience of watching something. It's still the best.
Absolutely.
It's still the best, you know.
Absolutely.
So we watched the Aziz Ansari special. It's like 30
Mm.
minutes. It's
How is
actually
it?
it's real. It's good. It's
Is
nice.
that a new one or is it one that's been out a while?
No, it's a new one. It's a new one he did in the Comedy Cellar up in New York. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like a full circle type thing because this is where the Comedy Cellar is where he started. So they actually show like some footage of him when he first like his first like open mic night or something. It's really cool. But No, it was very concise. It was the jokes were good. It's a good special, so I highly recommend it. And then Abbott Elementary, that shit just keeps getting funnier and funnier. Like
I don't
the
remember
last
that.
episode, they go into like roasting students because because I had to roast a few students this year too. Like them
Oh
motherfuckers be
yeah.
trying to joan, like they be trying
Oh
to
yeah.
joan like shit. And
Yeah.
you gotta cook them. Sometimes like one of the students, I stopped myself because I didn't know
Oh
like
no.
I didn't know if it was gonna go is too much, but yeah, I kind of yeah, there's certain stuff that it immediately popped up and I had to stop myself. Like, nah, I don't know if that's kosher. So but yeah, nah, I definitely related to that last episode. Like the students be trying
Mm,
to they be trying to go, so you gotta get them. Stop that shit quick.
Yep.
Um, and then in terms of audiobooks, I finally finished that one book called Pure Invention. It's basically about how Japan became the center of pop culture.
Mm,
How they exported all the anime, how they exported toys and that whole kawaii movement, Hello Kitty, all that stuff. Because one of the things that intrigued me about that is I was listening to hardcore hardcore history with Dan Carlin, and the last series that he's been doing is about the Pacific Theater in World War II and how ruthless the fucking Japanese were. Like
mhm.
those motherfuckers were like a terror. I mean, the reason why they had to use a fucking atomic bomb is because otherwise these motherfuckers would have not surrendered.
Yep.
yeah.
Um, so
Very violent.
you take it from how did Japan come from that to like kawaii, Hello
Yeah.
Kitty and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this book goes into that and it like the first couple chapters really kind of delve into that and like what happened, like how did they get their economy back online? How did they get the toy factories to go back? Like it was very good. I highly recommend it. Especially from folks that love like anime and Japanese culture, just nerd culture in general. Because I mean, a lot of it is centered around it comes from Japan. So um I highly recommend it, especially the audiobook. I think it's about so I listened to most of it on the drive back from the West Coast. But I think it's about 16-hour audiobook. So you can chop that up and go through it. But yeah, it's good. It's really good. It really does kind of give a whole view on how Japan is where it is now. So highly recommend it. Pure Invention.
Yeah. And their movement was very what's the word? Very strategical in a sense because after after the atomic bomb hit Hiroshima, they had to change their whole structure because they were like, oh well, we don't want to have that happen again, so let's go ahead and
Nah, the US had a lot like they were they basically like yeah, they came in and did that.
make them very humble,
Yeah.
basically.
So, yeah.
But,
Like
nah,
we
that's
still
that's
occupy
very interesting.
Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's very interesting too because that whole 'cause didn't they have another special on Netflix about toys back then like Hello Kitty and
Yeah, the toys
Toys from My
toys that made
Childhood.
us.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just tight.
Yeah,
That's a really good series. That and movies that made us. I love that series.
yeah.
They really kind of dive deep into the whole creative process
Hmm.
and how big like these big blockbusters and things that we just kind of take for granted, like how they actually came to be. And yeah, it's really interesting. So yeah.
Almost didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me. Not too much this week. Just a lot of fighting games and a sprinkle of Netflix. And
I don't know if it's on Netflix or I don't know where you might be able to watch it. I saw just a part of it on TV, and I've been meaning to look it up ever since. But there's a like a short like mini docu series, and it's called the '80s, the decade that made us, I think, and it's
Yeah,
about it's about
oh,
the '80s, and it's
uh,
really good, really really good. Y'all might be interested
I
in
haven't
that
had
if
a
you
chance to
like.
watch it yet.
You said what?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, that joint looked really really good.
yeah.
Anyway, what about let's see who else we got. JK, Carl, what's good with y'all this week? Or Tech if you back. Either way.
We can check out.
Wow. I could go.
Yeah, what's good with you this week, man?
Yeah, so I watched the new episode of A Discovery of Witches, where this one now, Homeboy, one of the main characters, he has to go back to America, New Orleans,
Of course.
because his son sired a whole bunch of people out of New Orleans, and he's a carrier of blood rage. So he,
Damn.
like 200 years ago, he culled a whole bunch of mofos that that actually had it. So if you're a carrier, he kept you alive, but if you actually was afflicted with it, he killed them, all of them.
Mm.
Mm.
So it was like a couple dozen people he just wiped out. So needless to say, mofos in New Orleans weren't too happy to see him, and so the that episode was pretty much him going back there trying to win them over because he's trying to branch off from his family for the purposes of keeping himself, his wife, his kids safe. And to some extent, the remainder of that extended family safe because uh, the powers that me might wipe them all out. So he could kind of protect them if they're their own family type of thing. So anyway, that was good, but this whole not being able to binge is a problem for me. Like,
Serious.
um, so yeah, I caught up, which is a problem. I hate catching up. Um, the what else did I watch? So, I'm starting to catch up on Demon Slayer. So, like I said, I went through the entire train arc in one night and started
Damn.
the entertainment district arc. So I'm right at the beginning. So nothing interesting has happened yet. Um, but yeah, I was caught up with that. The world's finest assassin. I was kind of off that for a while, so I'm finally watching that again. So it got interesting. So in the last episode I watched, he was he was reincarnated for the purpose of killing the hero.
Mm.
And in the last episode, it made it seem like okay, he finally met the hero, and he had his first interaction with him, and then he assassinated him. I'm like, he can't be the hero. That don't even make any sense. Sure enough, he wasn't the hero. And then, as a cliffhanger to the episode, we actually get to see who we believe. It's still not 100% confirmed who the hero
Mm.
is going to be, and it's looks like this little preppy boy, like that's either royalty or nobility. Um, so that's starting to heat up a little bit. Um, Again, like with a lot of anime, a little too much fan service from time to time, but you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's starting to be good. Um, I don't know if it was the last week or the week before that I finished up Shaman King. So I'm a little bitter. I ran out of Shaman King, so hopefully that
Is
comes
that
on because it looks
dropping
like they're
weekly?
doing it 5 episodes at a time, huh?
Oh, okay. I was saying, are they dropping that weekly or what? But you said five at a time.
That's what it seems like they're doing, like 5 or 6 at a time. So, um, hopefully, like maybe next month there'll be a few more. So at least you could do like a mini binge, and it's not like, okay, you watch one, you gotta wait a week. Watched World Trigger. So it seems like they're still locked in as far as the art, like the animation, the cinematic scenes. It's still there this week. Um, so you know, Tamakoma 2 met their goal. They got their points they needed.
Oh, they did. Oh,
So,
dang.
hmm
Nice.
so we're waiting now to see what's gonna happen. But they finally finished that round. Um, they always are able to keep the tension
Yeah,
better than
they're good at
any other
that.
anime. Like the tension just stays tight. Because I was watching, I'm like, dude, I'm feeling anxious right now. Like, why am I anxious? It's just crazy. Like, they're just so good at maintaining that intensity. Um, let's see, did I catch anything else? I don't think so. I did get some Halo in because I was trying to make a push to close out the battle pass. It's not
Mm.
looking good. It's not looking good. I did move up a little bit, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I'm using
Um,
double XP points, baby.
I did. I didn't start that early enough in the game. Like next battle pass, you know, I feel like I have a better shot of accomplishing that, but it ain't happening this time.
Yeah.
Um, but next week, raising is it next week? Yeah, raising Dion. I'm looking forward to that.
Wait first.
Can't freaking wait.
There's a bunch of
Um,
stuff about next week.
yeah, um, yeah, that's a look forward thing, but yeah, I don't think I saw anything else. It seems like I watch a lot more than I thought. I thought I didn't do too much, but I watched a few things. Um, but yeah, that's it. Cool.
JK, what's good with you this week, dog?
Let's see. Let's see. Go down the list. I'm watching Peacemaker on HBO Max. Uh, thought it wasn't gonna be good. I was definitely wrong. Fucking hilarious. Uh, I like how also too in Peacemaker they make it they make it seem like it's the DC universe, and so like they drop like hints of they talk about Batmite, they talk about Batman, they talk about Joker.
They want a universe so bad. Like it's never gonna happen for them. I don't know why they're playing around like they're gonna really achieve it. It's never gonna happen.
I mean, they have their universe, but they just have to utilize it properly. Um,
Exactly. It's never gonna happen.
hold down.
There's second stringers. Like there ain't varsity.
Damn. So it's JV. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. They hope they're JV. They're freshmen.
Damn.
Damn.
Trying
Okay, disrespect.
yeah.
Um, well, I've been watching CW shows, Legends, Batwoman. I just wanted to say Legends to see Carl's reaction. Um,
Look, I have no expectation for you to watch quality things anymore, JK. You invest your time in things like that. I don't know what to say to you.
what else? Uh, so I want to watch the show called on Netflix called Another World. It's about like hypothetically what would life be like on an alien planet. Um,
It's
like
not supposed to be hypothetical.
not Well, I think it's based on research or based on how evolution is. It's how life would be or how it would look, so to speak. So I wanted to check that out.
You said that's on Netflix.
Are we talking about the same show?
Huh?
Because it's you talking about the same show as
Another world,
because
not another life, another world.
okay. That's why I'm
Another
confused.
life was, which was a good show. Don't get me wrong.
Starbuck.
Yeah, Another World is like a docu series. It's like Earth. It's like Welcome to Earth, but for an alien planet.
See, Netflix should have never done that. Like those are both Netflix shows. Why would you name them so close?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I don't know. What the creative aspects of it. I would have called it Alien World or something. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Uh, Ozark fell into that trap too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Um,
enjoy
yeah.
it.
Just like I
Yeah.
fell into Euphoria's trap.
Hmm.
Because I definitely was never ever gonna watch it, and then I started watching. I was like, oh, this is wild. I like wild rides.
A lot of wild riding in there.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. That is true too. Very true. Um, like Carl said, can't wait for Raising Dion. A couple other shows on Netflix coming out this week as well on the 20. Actually, not tomorrow, tonight at 3. I think they'll be out. Um, what else? I watched. There's a show called Ghosted that was on Fox. It was with Craig Davis and not Craig Davis. What's his name? Is it Craig Davis? The black dude in uh what's that movie? Hot Tub Time Machine? Was it Hot Tub Time
Oh,
Machine?
with the
What
with
is
the
that man's
bush.
name?
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot
I
his
think
name.
I think he was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it was a show basically about a cop and a professor who works at a bookstore gets gets recruited into this secret organization where they hunt aliens, monsters, um, alien stuff like that, and they're trying to find this one agent. Um, it was it wasn't a bad show, but like they canceled it because it wasn't getting good ratings. So you know how Fox is with stuff. But it was funny to me. I don't care what nobody say.
Hmm.
Obviously, it wasn't funny to a lot of people.
Oh, damn.
And that's
Ice cold.
why I said what I said. Um, I'm gonna watch this movie called Body Cam.
Oh gosh.
Sounds traumatic.
Are we is we're gonna be mad at white people? Is that what that is?
It's about a cop who is
Mm-hmm.
getting
Another
a
cop?
murder. No, it's investigating a supernatural murder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't call it body cam, man. Like I'm thinking this is some police brutality crap.
yeah,
You
100%.
know, a murder was caught on a body cam, and it
I
was of a ghost.
A ghost
I
murder?
don't care. You need to find and call it something else. You can't paint
You got
police
all these words
brutality in
in the
my
English
mind and then tell
language.
me about it's sci-fi. Come on now.
Supernatural. It looks good. It's a
Oh, it's supernatural, not sci-fi. Whatever.
supernatural horror, so to speak. Not I guess thriller, not horror. I don't know. But I'm gonna watch it with Crescent. You gonna give our critique on that. Um, been watching World Trigger,
Got the
Demon Slayer,
popcorn.
of course. What'd you say?
So got the popcorn ready.
Yes, sir. Demon Slayer, World Trigger. Uh, what's the other one I want? Been watching Kamen Rider on some Asian drama shows. Uh, playing Halo, Serious Sam. I just finished the video for that from our co-op that me and Creston did, and that'll be up tomorrow. And here's my thing for Ozark. The lady who was in charge of the Blue Crab, and she just took that money from that wall, thinking, I'm like, first off, you just took dirty money from the cartel that you knew was the cartels. What makes you think?
Talking about the therapist?
No, the lady who was the owner of the lodge,
I know you're talking about.
yeah.
I forgot all about her. It's crazy. Like you'll see the progression, but like there's a lot of characters that like just come and go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she just come and went. Okay,
So yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, well, that's very unrealistic because definitely would hunt her ass down. Just how they killed that kid for not giving him the damn video footage in the gas station. Just shot that man in the gut and said, "Oh, you want to die now?" and shot him in the head. All right. Anyway, but yeah. Wow. Don't know what.
Darlene killed the the enforcer, the cartel enforcer.
Oh yeah, that was.
Well,
nuts.
that shit caught me off guard,
I didn't
yeah.
expect that.
Fucking
Anyway.
Darlene, she the most gangster out of all of them.
Yeah, facts. And so yeah, so I've been enjoying it. I blame Creston.
Hey, you're welcome. There's no blaming.
But I look forward to all the shows come out this week and next week. Been playing Apex, Halo. I tried Rainbow Six Extraction.
How was it?
Yeah,
How you like it?
it's like a VR.
Chris, with that face.
It's like a. It's not. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a zombie mode.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
not.
what it seemed like.
It's not. It's like Rainbow Six, except you killing fucking infected motherfuckers.
What? So
So it's a stealth game, but you're killing zombies.
Yes, it's put like that. I was like,
Sounds exciting.
yeah. I guess you gotta play it to see what I'm talking about, but like it wasn't. I was like, I played it when we started streaming. I was like, okay, I stopped playing after 5 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't.
Dude, like you're a developer, right? Like, how does that feel? Like you put in all this effort, you work in overtime, and
bruh,
then you just hear people putting it down after 5 minutes. You spent the last year, 2 years of your
of your
life,
life.
I'll be
Fed your
60
family
hour
with these
weeks.
checks.
I'll
You
be
you haven't even seen your family. You've been coding so hard.
Damn.
And then
Yeah, no bull.
they just set it down after 5 minutes. No thanks.
No, that's it's brutal,
That's
man.
tough.
Gotta wait.
That's
brutal.
real tough.
It is.
And it's not even their fault. Some creative director made some wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did buy Okami for the Switch. I started
Did you
playing
start
that.
it?
Yeah, I'm only on like the first level, so but I just started. But I went for my Pro controller to come in so I could play it on my big screen TV.
True.
Yeah. And then I've been reading the Black Sands comics, Tuskegee Airmen, Tuskegee Airs, not Tuskegee Airmen, Tuskegee Airs.
Yeah.
And been studying Python, coding, scripting, security shit.
Get
So what?
out of there.
Oh my gosh.
But No, this is for my personal
It's-
development. This is outside of.
mm, but it doesn't have to be. You could use those skills to get out of there. Just saying.
That's the whole point.
Question, like, I haven't heard of anybody really watching content from like Showtime in a long minute. I know Dexter's supposed to be coming back, so that might be a little
They just finished
infusion.
that.
That's already came back.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Okay, cool. So they got that. But I haven't heard about anybody actually watching content from Showtime. Is there content that you're watching, JK, from Showtime?
Showtime.
The show.
Where do you even watch
No.
Showtime stuff?
You
Huh?
can watch it on Hulu, and they have an app. Let me see. Showtime. What the fuck is on
Is
Showtime?
that like is that
It's HBO now.
add-on shit?
Is that the
Yeah,
what?
add-on
Oh,
stuff.
they got Billions. They do got Billions, and that's back.
I
What
watched the
else?
first episode because that was for the free on Apple TV, but then I had to pay for it afterwards, and I was like, I don't know. I'm
Not
gonna
with
pay
that.
for it.
Oh,
Um,
Raised by Wolves.
That
that's
shit is
HBO.
It's
weird.
coming back this week. Next week.
That's a weird ass show, bro.
It
Or a
it it
couple.
it lost me for a little bit. I know it got better, but I didn't
Did it?
stick around long enough for it to get
Same.
better. So it had lost me, but I feel like I might try to get back into it, push
Fuck.
through the part because I
Yes.
know there's parts that like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So I need to just push through whatever I got caught up with and try to get to the good part, especially since there's going to be a new season, so I could
It ended
binge a little bit.
pregnant.
What's that?
She ended up being pregnant
Yeah,
by a
How?
I knew
fucking
that happened.
virus.
Oh no.
It was
Nah,
weird.
that's
I was like,
awful.
how the fuck this happened?
You said
So
by a
Virus.
pirate?
By a
Huh?
virus.
Virus.
How the fuck you
Oh.
get impregnated by? How did that even? What kind
I was
of
about to
baby
say I
is this
thought
gonna
pirates
be?
were people.
What you
Wow.
say, Chris?
I thought you said pirate. I was like, I thought pirates were people.
No,
It's the birds and bees. That's
Wait
how
a minute.
they got pregnant.
that virus.
You said that's how
So
she got
she's a
pregnant.
humanoid. What's the point of having her menstruate as a android or whatever she is?
She's a humanoid android, but she has the ability to create children. So
But if you're just if a virus can impregnate, is it just by some other means? And
wait,
I'm
no,
like
I'm sorry.
oversimplifying it.
I'm sorry. She can't make children. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no,
She
they
can't make
don't.
children. She can grow children
Yeah.
from her little kit. She can grow children because that's what she did when they died, or whatever. But she couldn't bear children, and she always wanted to bear children. And somehow she hooked up to this system, VR system, and had sex with her creator inside the VR system. Ended up being pregnant. I was like, how the fuck this happened?
Okay.
Bro, no.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
How did this happen?
I was like, so this is the metaverse.
This,
Yeah,
like
that's
shit,
that's a
This
little bit
is next.
beyond the metaverse.
right?
This is the next
That's
step. But yeah, Raised by Wolves is coming out. I can't wait for that to happen. I used to watch
can,
that with my dad. My dad.
can you imagine the lawsuits if mofos put on an Oculus, connect up to Facebook metaverse, and come out pregnant?
Bruh.
Oh, man.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, turn into the
Yeah.
metaverse.
What? What
I'm
else they got
done.
on here? They got
But yeah, but I think that's it. Can't wait for all the games that come out this year.
facts.
So I can be broke again. Um,
Game
uh,
Pass, baby.
well, something again. Like I know,
Oh
well, Miles
yeah,
Morales coming out this year.
you're gonna do on that other platform. Yeah,
Oh
got
wow,
Crazy.
disrespectful, disrespectful.
Showtime also
Mhm.
has Yellow Jackets.
I mean, who doesn't want to pay $70 for games? Of course,
Oof.
I've had
You
it.
could buy them
I
used.
almost
Wait
pulled
for
the
them to go
trigger
on
and bought
sale.
Smash until I saw it was $60.
S- Smash.
So
But you're gonna.
And
Smash. Smash.
that's not even the whole game either.
That's
You
not the.
probably
Oh
play closer
no.
to closer
yeah,
to 100 to get all the characters.
$100 for Smash.
no thanks.
If you do all the character passes, yep,
Bro,
close
that's
to it.
crazy. That's insane, right? Like
That's how they print money. That's
Oh
how
my
they
God.
print money.
True.
All
That's
right.
But
Y'all
yeah,
ready
but
to
I think that's it for me.
bet? Let's definitely want to thank y'all for joining us on the podcast. Definitely let us know if there's something you haven't seen us talk about, you want a perspective on. Follow us at Blerdimension everywhere if you haven't already, namely here on Twitch, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. If you fuck with the content, give us a follow, sub, heart, thumbs up, whatever combination is platform appropriate. Help us appeal to the algorithm overlords out here. We stream the podcast live on Twitch Thursday nights. So, make sure you come through next week, man.